seat right now, and that's maybe one thing, Mike, where the intensity could pick up if Brandon Campbell is closer. We've got actual bucks on the line. $10 is going to be going to Corey Hall from Jolly Cure, New Brunswick. He wins heat race number 1 for the TCM Tranquility Online All-Star Showcase. But again, all the drivers in this race will be moving on to the 250-lap feature coming up in a little bit. You can see the finishers flash on your screen literally for just a moment, and we're going to move right on to heat race number 2 because it's 250 laps. We don't want to be here all night, so we're going to try and finish this up and get right to the feature as quick as we can. And we're just lining up heat race number 2 now. 6 cars going to be on track. And starting will be one of the lone Americans, Bret Suggs in the 33. Legends racer Nathan Blackburn. Craig McDonald in the number 98. He's had some great runs in these super late models. The number 4 of Barrett Bernard from the South Shore, French Shore, I should say, the Yarmouth area. And there's a face, literally, on the number 12 of Sam Rogers.
Is that Tim Terry's face?
No. Not as handsome. And then we have 2-time Pro Stock Tour champion Cole Butcher, who has had some tremendous runs here at the Five Flags Speedway. He has run in the Snowball Derby a handful of times. He's had great success at this track. I imagine he can probably get her done here on iRacing too.
Well, we get the lone. Well, Kyle Young is also from the United States, I believe. Kyle's
That's
from,
true. So there's
New
two
York.
double loan.
Yeah, Bret Suggs, great racer. Had some pretty impressive couple finishing races here in the last couple of weeks. Suggs have had some big upsets in that 33, so it'll be interesting to see what he throws down here for 15 laps in heat race number 2. Only 6 drivers, but Cole Butcher, the 2-time Parts for Trucks Maritime Pro Stock champion, going to have to come from all the way from the back. Sam Rogers, we haven't seen Sam in a while, so it'd be great to see the U.S. legend driver in the 12 car. Sam Rogers, I'd like to find out who is on that hood, but definitely a cool race car here tonight with that big smile on the front bumper.
I'm trying to see, there's a face
it's
on the rear
back
too.
as well.
Yeah, so that's cool. Well, either way, the car is smiling but sitting in the back, and the green flag is out. 15 laps around the track again. That's Phil Swift. That's the Flex Seal dude. It looks like.
That is just awesome.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's Flex Seal. I literally put a screen door in the boat. Yeah, there's Flex Seal on the top. So there you go. So that's
dude,
topping
you watch
Ross
way
Chastain.
too many commercials.
That's topping Ross Chastain's car. The things you can do in iRacing. Again, we are racing super late models here at the Five Flags Speedway. Bret Suggs is in front in the number 33, kind of a Skull Bandit looking car. And watch out. Oh, Sammy and Phil a little loose there out of the turn. A very small track, Five Flags Speedway, but it is one of the premier short tracks in Florida, in the States, to be honest. Cole Butcher making some quick work around the number 44, Nathan Blackburn on lap 4, Mike.
Yeah, Butcher picking up 2 spots there as he gets around Blackburn and Bonner, but that 53 is one to be to look at here tonight, because the last 5 or 6 races, the 53 has really come up from the bottom. New to iRacing, and I'm pretty impressed with himself and Jared Butcher and what they've done over the last 2 months. Yeah,
and they showed their stuff on CTV Morning Live as well, which was pretty cool. It was really cool to see Jared's rig. I don't know if we saw Cole's rig, but Jared's rig was awesome. I mean, top notch. I'm jealous that he has that. Taking a look at the score ticker again, we still have Bret Suggs in front. That's the money spot. $10 would be going to 33 if he's able to win this race. Craig McDonald, Sam Rogers, and a quickening, if that's a word I want to use, Cole Butcher coming up through the field. He started at the back, and now he's starting to close in on Sam Rogers and that big Swift face in front of him.
Do you think Tim would be mad if I added a Big Mac combo to that $10?
I don't think so at all. He may ask for one too.
That will be our donation to the winner.
We need donations. Don't forget about
us
us
here.
here.
Where's our tip jar?
Yeah, tip jar.
we want a virtual tip jar.
Yeah,
Bret Suggs, total control here.
He is in total control. He's pacing the field pretty good here. So again, he could be winning $10, and that's going to every heat race winner. Now the cool thing too with this race, every racer that is going to be racing is getting paid. Basically, you're getting your entry fee back, and iRacing does cost money. It's not a free service, so some drivers will be getting a little bit of money. But first place tonight in the TCM All-Star Showcase, brought to you by Tranquility Online, will be getting a clean $100 bill. Oh, we got a caution on the track here, a rarity in some of the heat races here. And it looks like it was Craig McDonald in the 98, spinning out in the middle of 1 and 2. And that's going to lead us into bringing our good old pal, another lone American, running Vidane TV, Paul Showtime Strickland Jr. What brought up the caution?
Well, it looks like the 98 car Craig McDonald pointed in the wrong direction, just kind of sifting through right now, rolling the tapes back here on the Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay, and looks like he got a got a bumper full of, well, that guy's face.
Phil Swift.
So we'll take
the Flex Seal guy.
The Flex Seal. We'll take a look at it here, and comes up. He scrapes the wall just a little bit, comes back down. I'll call that a racing deal, I think. A couple of guys going for the same piece of real estate. Lots of damage on the front of that 98 car, but he is able to grab a gear and get on rolling down the road. So luckily, everybody in this these heat races are making it in. This is kind of just a last-minute race session practice for these guys. So we'll see what he can do here in the 250 lapper coming up.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Showtime. I know you're excited to get back to the real racetrack. You're going to your home track, Stafford Speedway, soon, right?
Yes, sir. We're going there tomorrow. They have actually sold out the grandstands. They're only opening 25%, and they have sold out the paddock areas. Same deal, 25%. But luckily, they have worked out some sort of deal, a pay-per-view deal. You can actually go to StaffordSpeedway.tv and order the pay-per-view. It's $20, and you'll actually be able to check out the Vidane TV number 26 Street Stock racing tomorrow night. So very, very excited about that. Me waiting for the very last minute. I actually just cut up the decals for the quarter panels about 20 minutes before the show went on the air here tonight. So really excited to be able to have that, because we've got the Vidane TV number 26, and we've also got the Angry Tree Guy number 22 rather, Street Stock. Nice. So very excited to be hooked up with the Rent a Race Car guys this year. And man, if you told me 10 years ago that I'd have two of my own brands on the quarter panels of some race cars, I'd have called you, well, every name in the book, as the lights are off on the pace truck, getting ready to go back green here in the second heat race.
So quickly, is that going to be your first time in 2020 at the racetrack?
It is. It absolutely is. It's we did have a practice. I wasn't able to make it to the practice a few weeks ago. We also had an open practice this past Saturday, and doing some Father's Day activities, so didn't make it to the track. But yeah, it's the first time I'm going to be at Stafford. First time I'm going to be able to get one of those pulled pork sandwiches.
Nice. Bring your earplugs. Your ears are probably not used to the real racing. It's been stuck in iRacing mode for a while.
Yeah, it's a little bit louder than the iRacing deal.
It is, and green flag is out. Whoa, Cole Butcher. Whoa, Nathan Blackburn. My goodness, going through a bulldozer right there. Oh, Bret Suggs slides with the track just a little bit in front of the 53 and the 44. Bret Suggs is watching two Nova Scotian drivers tangle right now in Nathan Blackburn and Cole Butcher. White flag is out in heat race number 1. Nathan Blackburn slides up the track and knocks Cole Butcher out of the way slightly, and Bret Suggs is going to be liking that one from North Carolina. The 33, Bret Suggs, going to cruise on and win himself $10. He wins heat race number 2.
I wonder if he's thinking it's $10 US or $10
I was just going to say that. So he won himself $2.75.
Ah, it's not that bad. Come on.
All right, he won himself $8.
Butcher coming from all the way from 6th position and then started on that outside of row number 1. Thought he had something there. Barrett Bonner got into the back of him, gave him a really good shove there, but Nathan Blackburn putting on a great show there to put the stop to Cole Butcher's run there. So Bret Suggs, Nathan Blackburn, and Cole Butcher, your top 3. So that gives them a pretty good positioning for the start of the 250. But we are getting set once again for heat race number 3. 6 more big guns going to be on the line here. Ethan Miller starting on the pole with the 80 Carr. He's going to have Matthew Barkhouse on the outside in the 15. On the inside of row number 2, that's Mike Rhino in the 34, and he's going to have the 24 of Jake Goodwin on the outside. Complete the field in row number 3, the 75 car. They call him Magic Mike. It's Mike Alexander. And on the outside of row number 3, the 22, that's Ricky Arbo.
Ricky Arbo back in here. That's pretty cool. So we're just gridding up here. Heat race number 3. If you're just joining us on Vidane TV and Tim's Corner Motorsports, I'll call this the last E-race, I-race for spring, summer 2020. Because some racetracks are getting underway, the Atlantic Bubble. If for some reason you're sleeping under a rock and you didn't hear about the Atlantic Bubble, All the Atlantic provinces will not require self-isolation if you want to travel. Now, what does this mean for the racetracks? Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island, we're still kind of waiting to figure out, but New Brunswick has a couple of big races coming up. They got some races this weekend, including at Petty on Saturday. So if you're in the Petitcodiac area or New Brunswick, please go support that racetrack. We want to support local racing as much as we can. And then there's that big race coming up, the Bubble Burster 150 at Petty, Saturday, July 4th. So if you want to celebrate Independence Day, we'll do it at the racetrack. That'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be a mixture of Pro Stock Tour cars and Pro Stock 660 cars, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm sure we're going to see a few of these drivers here, Mike, in this field tonight. Going to be strutting their stuff on the real racetrack in a few weekends.
Oh, definitely, no doubt. I mean, that was the big blocker, was being able to cross over between the provinces. And with that happening last Friday and that announcement, and even Newfoundland joining that major Atlantic Canada bubble, it's going to be pretty exciting for race teams. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here now in the next couple of weeks once we see what Nova Scotia and Newfoundland does, and hopefully we'll see more racetracks opening up. But here we are, green flag. It's the 80 car of Ethan Miller, who took his first win in a Legends car, and I believe that was at Five Flags earlier on in the season. But it's going to be Matthew Barkhouse and Mike Rhino running out your top three. Little freight train on the front, but two wide racing back there with Ricky Arbeau and Jake Goodwin. Goodwin in that Napa Auto Parts vehicle on the outside, kind of hanging out there, but Mike Alexander is going to take that position away.
Yeah, three little stretch racing there with about three different cars and two different packs. And now the number 15, Matthew Barco, starting to peek under the 80 of Ethan Miller. Matthew was one of the drivers to get his iRacing win early on in the TCM spring-summer season. Mike Rhino right behind that, number 34. I want to thank you all again watching on Facebook or Twitch or on YouTube as well, which is pretty cool. You can have this iRace on the big screen. I never thought I'd be on someone's TV, Mike. That's pretty cool right there. So anyways, we're still continuing here, lap number 4 of 15. We were going to have our good buddy Jerry Paxton from Racetime Radio joining us. He was just sent us a message there, Mike. He's saying he's got some mic problems. I'll tell you one who doesn't have a mic problem. That is Mike Alexander, charging his way underneath the number 80. Magic Mike is on the move.
Yeah, no doubt the 75 is definitely on the move, and he is one car that knows how to make it work on the outside groove. We're seeing a little bit of cars getting pushed out here. Ethan Miller now falling all the way back to Jake Goodwin in that 5th position, and Goodwin now on the attack from the back into 24. What you really got to be look at here tonight at the Five Flags, here in the track, we've seen in the past what the outside group kind of works is when the outside pinches that inside and picks up a little bit of that grip on the bottom.
Just a wee bit, and Mike has proven in these iRacing events too, he does not need to go down pit road. He can stretch the tires, he can stretch the fuel. He's really good at conserving stuff. Right now, his brother, Matthew Barkhouse, is in front. I don't know if there's a brotherly agreement where they split the winnings, so I don't know if 5 goes to Matthew and 5 goes to Mike. But Matthew's in front of Mike Rhino and Mike Alexander with Ricky Arbeau. Haven't seen old Ricky in a little while, so he's back in here. He's got his Twitch stream as well if you want to watch his POV and see what it's like from his perspective. Lap 10 now in the books, Mike.
Yeah, I believe Ricky Arbeau is got the virtual reality headset on, which is pretty crazy. Sometimes some people get sick with a virtual headset on, but I've watched some of his streams, and it's pretty impressive, the feeling of it actually running from a screen versus the virtual headset. So Ricky is probably going full virtual 360 here tonight if you want to check that out. But it's Mike Alexander having a bit of difficulty trying to get around that 34 of Mike Rhino. One thing I've learned since calling some of these TCM events is the Alexander family, Matthew Barkhouse being the brother of Mike Alexander. We got to see Scott Alexander just the other night. Man, whatever runs in this family's bloodline, there's some pretty stout drivers coming out of the Alexanders.
Yeah, they're a big-time racing family here in Nova Scotia. It's pretty awesome to see when it's always a family affair. And there's Magic Mike making a move under 3 laps to go. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to close in on Matthew. Matthew's got a pretty stretched out lead in front of the field. Oh, the double zero. Pardon me, the 80 little loose, you know, with this wreck happening, and we're just about to finish up this race. We'll see if we can get our good buddy Jerry Paxton in here for the final heat race in just a moment. 2 laps to go, and going to be, wow, one more time around here for Matthew Barkhouse. He's in the money seat, Mike.
Yeah, and it's 2 to go here. He's got such a gap built up here. 1.5 second difference, 1.26 between himself and his brother Mike Alexander. So it'll be the 15 here on the final lap. White Silk was in the air. He's going to finish here now in the big spot for $10. But the big part of this here for the 15 car is obviously the position, the pole. But it's
I was just trying to see what he was doing there. I wasn't sure what he was trying to bobble on purpose.
Yeah, you have me messed up then. I seen him cross the start finish. I'm like, is he still racing?
I don't know. Yeah. Anywho, let's go through our starting lineup, and we'll see if we got another Mike guy up in here. Here is your starting lineup now for this final heat race, and this guy won the paint scheme vote off earlier. 97, Riley Duncan getting the fan vote today. The Godfather, Ryan Messer in the number 1, starting second. Brad Eddy won 2 nights ago in the number 6. Keith McClellan, Danny Chisholm, Stephen Matthews in the 56. And let's see if we got that Ontario mic working now. Jerry Paxton, you got a copy?
I am here, gentlemen. I finally got this computer figured out.
Sweet. Jerry Paxton from Race Time Radio. It's great to have you back in here. And you're in store for 250 laps tonight here at Five Flags.
Perfect. See, I saved it for the big show.
You got to conserve. How are you tonight?
I'm doing awesome, man. Are you guys?
We were waiting for you. We're even better now.
Oh. I'll take that as a compliment. I'm not really sure it's true because I haven't heard from Mike yet.
Come on, Mike.
Silence is death.
Isn't it? Especially in radio and on live stream.
I'll be Elon Musk, and I'll just take 30 seconds to respond. We are getting set here for the final heat race before we get to the 250, Jerry. Riley Duncan got the fan vote here, so he is the fan favorite here tonight. And the 97 had over 360 votes. Ryan Messer on the outside, but we're going to get a clean start here as 97 takes a huge jump with Ryan Messer in chase, Jerry.
And Messer was really good last night at the Pro Stock race. Just a little bit of bad luck as we approach the end of it. So let's see how he can do in the heat here. He is running in second spot, and he is feeling the heat. The number 6, Brad Eddy, is starting to pick his way up through this field.
I'm having a hard time keeping track of Brad. Every time he races, he has a different paint scheme on. But we heard him. He's trying the paint booth and everything else. Final heat race for Pit Road TV, and we can't thank them and Tony Stevens enough for hopping on board and sponsoring the races. Pit Road TV does a lot of great stuff supporting short track racing in the States, and of course, they have a hand with the Cars Tour as well. And in fact, again, the heat race winners, the top heat race winner in the feature tonight, going to be winning themselves a 1-month subscription to Pit Road TV. There's the Godfather, Ryan Messer. That's the new nickname, and we hope it sticks here. And he is making that car stick to the bottom and catching up to Riley Duncan's 97, Mike. He's a man on the move, and he's putting a lot of pressure on that 97, lap number 5 now.
Well, just the other night, Messer had a shot at taking that Parts for Trucks Pro Stock Series, but just ran out of time and had a beautiful run, but had that wreck and had to do a reset and come up through the back of the field, but finished in third. But here he is now taking the lead here in heat race number 4. We are halfways, and Messer in full control. And look at that, the 6 of Brad Eddy, who was super hot the other night, and he's now coming up into that second position with a lot of pressure. Jerry, keep an eye on that 87. Danny Chisholm, who started close to the rear of the field, is also on the move now in position number 3.
Yeah, Danny Chisholm looked like he was saving a little bit. He had a good car at the beginning there. He was just taking his time coming up through the field. But hey, with 7 of 15 already completed, time to go. No more time to play around. Get going if you're going to get going, or you're not going to get there. And right now he is hugging the bottom of the racetrack, trying to work it under the 6 of Brad Eddy. He's pulling one of Brad Eddy's tricks out of the book. Going to get down on the bottom of the racetrack, force Eddy up onto the high line. But Brad Eddy outdrives him into the turn. He's back down to the bottom.
Now Keith McClellan throwing some pressure underneath Danny Chisholm in the 87. He's not able to pass it at turn 2. Now in turn 3, Danny slides up the track, and it's going to lose third to the number 30, Keith McClellan from New Brunswick. Lap 9, now lap 10. Oh, Danny Boy gets shoved at the track by Riley Duncan in the 97. Last 5 laps of the Pit Road TV heat races tonight for the Tranquility Online All-Star Showcase. $100 going to the race winner tonight, and $10 should be going to Ryan Messer if things go in his way with 4 laps to go.
Now, Jerry, if this is a foreshadow for the 250 here tonight, we just watched the 87 go all the way to the front to all the way to the back. All drivers qualifying here tonight. It is very difficult to win one of these TCM events. We've done over 36 live events here with Vidane TV and TCM over the course of the last 3 months, and I can tell you, we've had over 80 cars qualify for these events. So to win one of these races, you got to be one of the top iRacers here in Atlantic Canada. So we're seeing 24 drivers here tonight that have taken a win. So we have the creme de la creme here tonight. And I got a funny feeling once we get to that 250, we're going to see a lot of leadership changes.
I have no doubt about that, and these guys are really putting it on. But Ryan Messer, that number 1 car, he is in the lead, and looks like he's got a very handy lead on the 6 of Brad Eddy. Eddy, I don't think, is going to chase him down unless Messer makes a mistake. And Keith McCullough in the number 30 in that Bud Light machine. He's also just marking his time. That 1-2-3 finish, that might be all they're really looking for to come out of this qualifier.
Brad Eddy does not have enough to try and steal the money, and you don't want to steal from the Godfather because you're going to pay the price. Ryan Messer in the number 1 is going to win the final heat race tonight here at Five Flags, the final Pit Road TV heat race. Ryan Messer wins, $10 in his pocket, and now he's also entered to try and win a 1-month subscription to Pit Road TV. And that's going to do it for the heat races, boys. That simple as that. And then we're going to get ready now for the big 250 lapper. And we're going to throw it, of course, before every good race starts. We have to hear our great national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, our rendition of O Canada.
Okay, folks, we'll get ready for the national anthem here. If you're able to, would you please rise for singing of O Canada?
O Canada, our home and native land,
true patriot love in all of us command, quand on bras se porte l'épée, il sait porter la croix.
From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Drivers, start your engines.
Southwestern PA will add to its sports legacy on July 4th at Jennerstown Speedway. The Cars Tour brings America's biggest short track racers to the Laurel Highlands for a 200-lap, $20,000-to-win spectacle powered by Thomas Automotive Group. Stephen Nasse, Bubba Pollard, and the Kyle Busch Motorsports number 51 car are among the expected entries for Jennerstown's biggest race in decades, plus a massive fireworks display. Get your tickets now. Seats are limited, and this one could be a sellout. Get more info at carsracingtour.com.
Are you doing it?
Yes. Jerry and Dylan, it's the TCM All-Star Showcase here at Pensacola, Five Flags. How are you now?
I don't know. Did you say something? I think your mic overmodulated. You were so loud and so excited.
Oh man, I am just so pumped here tonight with there's some big heads in this room, some big dogs, all the race winners from the TCM Spring Summer Showcase here at Five Flags. Like I said earlier in the heat race, a lot of leader changes tonight, I predict.
Yeah, this is going to be really the who's who. I mean, We've got so many winners, and of course, every person racing has won something, whether it's a race or a fan vote. We've got pro stock racers, mini stocks, street stocks, truck racers, you name it. They're all in here tonight. 20-plus drivers. I mean, come on. You can't beat this on a Thursday night. It ain't going to get better than this. Looking through the field, 25 drivers are in here, and we're going to introduce them all to you tonight. Dylan Langille from Riverside Speedway, Mike James from Eastbound Park, and from Racetime Radio, Jerry Paxton on the virtual announcers booth with a replay man, the main man, Paul Showtime Strickland Jr., and all of you watching tonight. Can't thank you all again watching on Vidane TV and Tim's Corner Motorsports. Mikey, let's go through the starting lineup here, and on the pole, winner of a few of the Pro Stock E-races, and he's number one in the grid, maybe number one in your hearts, Corey Hall from Jolicoeur, New Brunswick in the 83. On his outside, starting second, one of the lone Americans racing tonight. From North Carolina, North Kakalaki, I think that's the nickname of it sometimes, Bret Suggs in the 33.
Were you referencing Corey Hall as Corey Hart?
Did I say that?
I don't know. Sounded something like that. Inside of row number 2, the 15 of Matthew Barkhouse. He's going to have a big dog on the outside of him, the one car of Ryan Messer.
The Godfather. Looking at Brandon Campbell, who snuck his way in a couple nights ago in that number 99. On his outside, the number 6 winner 2 nights ago in the Nova Truck Center's 150. Or pardon me, jumping ahead a little bit. That's Nathan Blackburn in the 44. Don't worry, Brad Eddie's coming up shortly. Nathan Blackburn, Legends racer here in the Maritimes. There's Magic Mike Alexander, and now it's going to be the number 6 of Brad Eddy, who won 2 nights ago. Carry on, Mike.
We're going to fire you and throw Jerry Paxton in here in a minute. And on the inside of row number 4, the 54, Nick Codner from Torbay, Newfoundland, Labrador, picked up 2 big wins this season. So it'll be interesting to see what he has for us tonight. And look at that. On the outside of Codner is the 53, 2-time Parts for Trucks Maritime Pro Stock champion, Cole Butcher.
New Brunswick racer Ricky Arbo with the number 22. On his outside, Keith Daddy McClellan in the number 30 Bud Light Machine. Look at the row behind now,
and
Mikey.
On the inside of row 7, Kevin King, Barrett Bonner, and go through the field as we are going to get set here. Mike Rhino, Steve Matthews, John Fitzpatrick, Sammy Rogers, Jake Goodwin, Riley Duncan, Noel Fougere, Craig McDonald, Ethan Miller, Danny Chisholm, and Kyle Young did not make the call. But we are now green flag. Corey Hall in control. And a bit of 2-wide racing there as Matthew Barkhouse takes the inside on Bret Suggs.
And they're going to start looking for some advantages early on here, get some early positions if you can get them, but I expect there'll be a lot of drivers who will settle in. It's a long race, 250 laps. Let's take our time. Let's do a little strategy, see how the track works out, see who gives me an opportunity. I'm watching for a lot of that because when you got guys like Corey Hall leading the way, he doesn't make many mistakes.
The TCM Tranquility Online All-Star Showcase is now under caution. Early one here with 24 cars on track, 250 times around this beautiful facility, Five Flags Speedway, the home of the legendary Snowball Derby late model race. And we're already under caution. We were focusing on the number 24, Jake Goodwin, for just the moment. But you know who we have in here to let us know what happened? Paul Showtime Strickland Jr. in the Vidane TV replay booth. What happened? Oh, good. Thanks, Larry Mack.
I was hoping
on the back straightaway coming out on the back straightaway coming out of 2.
Stick to singing there, Noel. I'm sorry, did I say that too loud? Noel's a great singer at Riverside, and it's great to see him on iRacing. Hey, it's great to see Tim Terry in the announcer booth. Hey, Timmy.
Yeah, how's it going so far, boys? It's been a fun night so far. Some great racing in the heats. Looking forward to this feature. 250 laps, long way around here, but it is the finale, so we gave them extra laps and gave them a little bit of money. Want to announce that legendsnation.com, i.e. Brian Nagy, the LCJ, has topped up position 6 through 10th tonight. They will all pay $30. They'll pay the same as position number 5 tonight. So if Paul wants to pop that graphic up on the screen of the payout, 6 through 10th now pays 30. 11th on back pays $10. We're going to pay everybody that starts tonight. These drivers were also warned in the meeting that if they do anything that warrants a disqualification from an admin, they would forfeit all pays for that driver for the night.
Hey, give it to us.
Yeah, it all goes into Mike's tip jar.
Oh, yeah. Did you get the tip jar out?
You know.
Do you have any dancing going on? I know you have the webcam. Do you got any dancing going on tonight?
We're not doing no web dancing.
Oh, okay. It's not that kind of show.
I will web dance for the right price. I don't care. $10 is $10.
Yeah, so we've topped it up a little bit. Hopefully these guys will get some green flag racing in. But it looks like we're getting ready to go back. So good luck. Have fun, boys.
Thank you, Timmy. That's Tim Terry, who's in race control. And we can't thank him enough for putting all this on. And, you know, he's talking about the money there. The money is not possible without some sponsors helping out, including some of the lab sponsors, Carr, Fitzpatrick Racing, LBT Pallets, and Dirty Rotten Racing, the Laker News, Pawsitive Care, PEI, and SDC Racing, just some of the sponsors. And we want to thank you for supporting iRacing tonight, supporting the wallets of these iRacers. And I'm sure some of that money will probably go to the real cars, at least some gas money. Green flag is out. Corey Hall slides in front of the number 15, Jerry. That's Matthew Barkow. He's got some pressure now from the 99, Brandon Campbell. Or how about you, Mike? I don't know. I think Jerry's getting a hot dog.
Hot dog. Yeah, these laps have been brought to you by fans of Rowdy Nation. They took the first through 10 laps here tonight, so big shout out to fans of Rowdy Nation. But a bit of 2Y racing right now with the 33 of Bret Suggs and the 15 of Matthew Barkhouse as they get it going. We got a bit of action throughout the whole field here as Mike Alexander hits out to the outside here. And he is going to have a bit of trouble there trying to get down here in between as the inside a little bit quicker here. He's now taking that position on Nathan Blackburn of 44.
I think Mike has won the most TCM iRacing events as, looks like Cole Butcher's a little sideways. Oh, and he collects a few other cars, including the 29. Oh, we got a big one now at a turn number 4. Caution out at Five Flags again on lap number 12. I saw it in the corner of my eye, the 53 getting a little sideways, collecting the number 29. That is King, one of the American racers here. Pardon me, I don't know if he's American. I don't know where he's from, but I know he raced the NASCAR Coca-Cola Racing Series. And we'll bring in Paul Showtime Strickland again. You may have to get your tip jar out, too, with all the replays you're showing.
For sure. It's going to be a long night here. We're going to focus in the number 53 car, that red car right there. Gets into the back of the 6 and gets a little bit wobbly, and it looks like he just loses the back end. I didn't see any contact between he and the 30, but he does collect the 29. Kevin King, the machine of the 98 machine of McDonald, the 30, the 36, the Fougier's in it. Ford does a great job. He just smashes on the brakes and doesn't want to mess with any of that. So everybody grabs gear. A little bit of damage on some of these cars. You can see the front end of the 53 is just kind of a little bit wonky, shooting off to the right just a little bit. And can definitely confirm Kevin King is American. I believe he's from the Carolinas. Not 100% positive.
He's American. America. That's good. So we did have 3 at one point. Kyle Young. Where's Vidane TV's Kyle Young? Why isn't he here?
You know, I'm not even really sure. And, I mean, technically, 25th pays $10, but if he didn't start the race, I think we should be able to split his winnings, no?
Yes. I agree with that. Mikey, what do you say?
I think it all should go to the Mike James tip jar.
What about me?
I think we got Jerry back.
Well, $10 split 5 ways. That's like $2 a piece. We could each get a McDouble.
If that's a McDouble, that's a donut at Tim Hortons. That's a few things.
Ooh, we could get a double-double. And some
No
Timbits.
trash. You need to get it black. No double-doubles.
I say we go to Vegas and put it all on red.
There you go.
10-4. Looks like maybe Jerry's micro. Well, at least we had him for a heat in a bit. So I think Jerry Paxton, live and in living color from Ontario, is having a couple of mic problems. But we've had a couple problems on track already, this time including Cole Butcher in the 53. I want to thank each and every one of you again for watching. And every race, too, you can see Cole going on pit road. And that's going to be a factor, too, boys. I guess, boy. That will include you, too, Paul. boys, there is going to be pit stops factored in. This is going to be a long race, the longest TCM event we have done. And there may be 2 pit stops required, actually, with 250 laps.
Yeah, well, 250, we're going to see some green flag pit stops that we've seen over the last little bit if we have long green flag stretches here. So that was a huge factor this past week. So we're seeing a little bit of activity on pit road. John Fitzpatrick went down and grabbed, I believe, fast fuel and 2 tires. We also got Noel Fougere that was down. Jake Goodwin, Craig McDonald was down there. Kevin King had some repairs made. That's going to put him down a lap. Bear Bonner is down 1 lap as well, as he had some repairs done as well. Cole Butcher right now is on pit road again. He is down 2 laps now, so he's going to have to make up some big time here. As it looks like Cole Butcher is repairing damage for some reason.
Well, he did get a little bit of a hit there, so not good for the 2-time Parts and Trucks Pro Stock Tour champion. Green flag is back out for Corey Hall and Brandon Campbell. Again, that top spot is the money seed, $100. But you heard Tim mention that Brian Nagy from Legends Nation is going to be giving a little extra money to the racers as well. So you definitely want to get in the top 10. $30 is nothing to sneeze at. That'll buy you a large pizza somewhere and some garlic fingers, which I'm kind of craving now just mentioning. You can see Ryan Messer, the Godfather, in the number 1 right behind the 33 and the 15. I think Ryan's one of the Pro Stock racers getting ready for that big race coming up at Petty Raceway on July 4th, which is going to be pretty exciting. Man, they're all stacked to the field, Mike. I'm seeing nearly 3 wide racing. Nathan Blackburn's on the outside now. The 54, Nick Codner.
Lots of battles throughout this whole track as Codner has a bit of an advantage on the inside at 54 as he picks up that spot on the 44. Codner is a lone Newfoundland Labradorian in 9th position in the top 10. But, you know, one car in particular I want to talk about is the 99 of Brandon Campbell, who really has cranked it up in the last month and taken that big win. His first win of the season just this past week. So the 99 putting a little bit of pressure right now on Corey Hall. And I believe Corey Hall does not want to give up that position as he collects a little lap money here tonight and lots of clean air and a nice clean car. We've seen over the last couple of races, Hall had some bad luck with a few fender benders and had to battle back up to the front after making repairs. So that 83 is going to be hard to beat on the front row as he tries to stay out there in that clean air.
He's going to try it, but again, lap 24 at 250. It is so early on here. At this point, you want to try and save everything you got. You don't want to push too hard if you're Brandon Campbell, but that fresh air is going to be pretty important. You can see through the field, Bret Suggs in the 33. He's now in 3rd, Ryan Messer, Matthew Barkhouse, Magic Mike Alexander, Brad Eddy, Nick Codner, and also Ricky Arbo, some of the drivers in the top 10 currently, as they're all in single file formation. Brad Eddy, oh, hello, look out, Phil Swift, oh, Sammy Rogers, crooked. I don't think Flex Seal was going to save him. 3 wide, oh, Keith McClellan gets hit by Danny Chisholm. 3 wide racing didn't work out, and that will bring up the caution here on lap number 26.
I'm not sure how they're going to score that, but a lot of gray paint on that 12 of Sammy Rogers, but I think Keith Mack took the brunt of that one.
Yeah, too many Bud Lights for that Keith Mack 30 machine. We'll back this up here for the Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay. Give it to you in real time here, and we'll take a look. See, the 30 was up top, the 87 behind the 12. 12 gets a little bit squirrely, shoots on down low. 87 shoots up, trying in the middle. Trying to make it 3 wide here, and just kind of gets up in the back quarter panel of Keith Mack in that number 30 Bud Light machine. Doesn't hit anything, does a great job getting on the binders, stays out of the racing groove, except for when he comes down in front of the 97 right there, and does a great job pointing it in the right direction and getting her going. And I did actually get a text message from Kyle Young in the 93 car. He's having internet issues, so it looks like he made maybe a lap, and looks like he disconnected, but he's trying to get her fired back up and see if he can't make the rest of this feature. So we may very well see him in the booth later on tonight.
$10 is $10.
True story.
Yeah. Got to try and make it, whether you start and park it. That's pretty much what he did, was start and park. I think he didn't want to wear his stuff out. He was pulling the start and park move.
He might just be scuffing tires for some of these other guys up front.
True. Hey, there's an agreement there. So for Nova Scotians watching tonight, I'm just going to give you a little tip. There's a pretty big announcement coming from the Premier and Dr. Robert Strang. Tomorrow at noon. Don't know what it's going to entail, but you'd have to figure there's going to be some restrictions lifted before the Atlantic bubble happens. So hopefully we're not too far behind New Brunswick with the outdoor gathering limit completely whitewashed out of there. And not sure about Prince Edward Island and same for Newfoundland and Labrador. But it's all pointing in the right direction with the 16th day in a row here in Nova Scotia with no new COVID-19 cases. I know New Brunswick had no cases again today. And there hasn't been cases in Prince Edward Island and the Rock for a while, right, Mike?
Oh, for sure. I mean, everybody's just so pumped to get back to trackside. A few cautions here early on in this 250. A little bit more than I thought that we'd see at this point, but hopefully this gets straightened out. We already see Cole Butcher has retired as he was down 15 laps, so we're down to 23 cars now, and still plenty of activity on pit road. We've seen a couple of cars now having 3 visits. Jake Goodwin has been down 3 times, as well as Craig McDonald.
Good opportunity here, too, to thank everybody out there watching live on Vidane TV and Tim's Corner Motorsports, especially over on our YouTube page, Vidane TV. Do a quick search there. Any smart TV that you've got or anything that's got the YouTube app, just taking a look at the chat. Caroline Walker out here rooting for Duncan, the number 97, showing them where you come from. Scott Wickens in here rooting for the 97. Brandon Campbell, Ricky Arbo, a couple of drivers in there. Some number 6 fans, another Riley Duncan fan there with Janet Wickens. Jonathan Game out there, he's looking for Ricky Arbo to win. So pretty cool. Let us know who you're watching for, where you're watching from, all that good stuff. We'll try to get you a shout out here throughout the race.
And we're back green flag here. A nice restart here by the 83. Clean and very familiar watching that 83 fire as soon as that pace car was out of the way. But the 99 going back to work. Brandon Campbell. Lots of pressure right now on that 83 of Hull. A few battles, 2Y Racing in the back as Bret Suggs tries to fend off Ryan Messer and Matthew Barkhouse.
And that's the thing too, Mike, with being in the lead. Every time you lead a lap, you're extra money $1. So Corey Hall is starting to stack the bills just a little bit. So there's a chance that Corey, if he leads a bunch of laps and wins this race, he could be having himself a pretty decent payday tonight. $100 automatically going to the leader. That means someone could just roll in with 1 lap to go and steal the show. But laps are being paid out tonight, kind of like a real race, which is pretty cool. And again, some of the sponsors that have hopped on tonight include Burt Racing, Clattenburg Racing Fabrication, Roger Down Racing, Vano Racing, Randy Titus Racing, and Fox Subaru Fredericton, and fans of Rowdy Nation, along with Danny Bull from Uncle Reg Racing. So a lot of local sponsors hopping on tonight for this iRace. Can't thank you enough. I'm sure Corey Hall's appreciating all the money he's ranking up right now.
Oh, for sure. And 36 laps led here so far, but lots of battles all over. Danny Chisholm now trying to get around the 30 and the 98 of Craig McDonald. The 87 machine of Chisholm had some success earlier on, but then got caught up in a little bit of a heated battle there earlier on. But we're also seeing battles right across the board, including Nick Codner and Ricky Arbo in the black and the green lime machines here tonight, as Codner now behind Mike Alexander, but we've seen back and forth a little 2Y race between the 222 and the 54, but Codner taking that win on the battle. But it is single filed out now, and lots of action here early on with almost 40 laps gone of 250 laps here at Five Flags in Pensacola, Florida. Our lone soldier at the rear tail at the end of it is the 4 car of Bear Bonner in 23rd position.
A little further back on lap number 40, Corey Hall still the leader with Brandon Campbell. Bret Suggs in 3rd, and you can see the score ticker at the top of your screen as well to show you who's racing. Kyle Young and Cole Butcher currently out of the race here, but again, they can hop in anytime they want to try and restart. Ryan Messer in 4th, Matthew Barkhouse, Brad Eddy, Mike Alexander, Nick Codner, Ricky Arbo, and Sam Rogers rounding at the top 10 here for the TCM Tranquility Online All-Star Showcase. Here at Five Flags, as you mentioned, a very small track. They're whipping around this track in about 15, 16 seconds. They're getting some fast lap times, and you can see mostly single file. There's a little 2i battle with Stephen Matthews at the top of the track, and now focusing on Ethan Miller, currently sitting in 11th, and now Stephen Matthews gets in front of Nathan Blackburn and Noel Flugier. Noel brought out the first caution here tonight. Now he gets back on the inside, chasing Danny Chisholm on lap 45-44.
A lot of patience being shown here, guys. I'm watching them take their sweet time as they get around. They're making careful moves. Nobody wants to get into big trouble.
Who brought that Houdini back in the room?
Hey, I apologize, guys. We had a little technical issue at my end, which I managed to get fixed. But
did you turn off your wife's Netflix?
No, my son-in-law decided to start gaming. And my internet didn't like him.
Well, we are 46 laps completed. We're coming up on the 1/5 mark here. 250 big ones here. I was going to count 250 beer bottles here tonight, but that would get annoying. But
that's just a Thursday in Newfoundland, right?
250 bottles of beer.
Good times.
That's a party no matter where you are.
Maybe we used to play a shot game, a shot of beer every minute, so 250 shots would be a good night.
It's hit you pretty good. A driver who's having a pretty good night right now is Corey Hall, but Brandon Campbell, I've been noticing, starting to close in a little bit, and soon enough we are going to have some slower cars in the way of Corey Hall and Brandon Campbell. And again, you do want to be out in front the entire time. You're raking up dough. Corey's almost got himself a $50 bill at this rate, leading 49 laps so far. Brandon Campbell wants to try and get his share of the money.
And funny to watch around the racetrack, guys, and what I'm seeing is a lot of two-car battles. They seem to be pairing up. You see the top two, Corey Hall and Brandon Campbell. Behind them, Suggs and Messer. The 33 and the 1, they have their own little war going on. The 15 of Markhouse and the 6 of Eddie, they're another pair going at it as 2. So looks like they're taking their time. We're going to pick on one at a time here and just try and slowly get some track position.
We're seeing Riley Duncan head down pit road, the 97. The fan choice, over 300 votes to get into the TCM All-Star Showcase. He's going to pick up some Goodyear Feel Goods, but that's going to put him down a lap here. So he needs to get going here. Hopefully he doesn't take 4 in 2 laps. But Riley Duncan still on pit road. Lots of tameness going on right now. Everybody's settled down. You know, it's a long show. It's a chess match. So we're seeing quite a bit of a green run here. As we have a lot of battles throughout the field, but 1, 2, 3 single file battles.
With the 97, Riley Duncan, it's early on to make a pit stop, I'd figure. Only on lap 50, lap 51. But if that's what you want to do, I guess that's the strategy. And if there's a long green flag stretch, Jerry, there is going to be some green flag pit stops. Very rarely have I seen green flag stops on iRacing. The only track I've seen it really is at Talladega, and that's a 2.66 mile track, not Five Flags. A lot smaller here down in Florida.
You're right. It's going to be one of those deals. If you make a pit stop, you're almost guaranteed you're going to go down a lap. So if you're going to make it, you're going to do it quick, and you're going to be as thorough as you can. Get 4 Dr. Feelgoods and a tank of fuel, and make that go as far as you possibly can. To get the advantage, because you're going to need it to get that lap back.
And Riley Duncan has retired, the 97 fan choice. Not sure what was happening on pit road, but he quickly went down a couple laps, and not sure if that was enough for him to retire for the evening. But best of luck to Riley Duncan in the 97. He was your fan choice recipient.
Yeah, only around for just a little bit. I guess he was here for a good time, not a long time, with quote Trooper. Looks like Barrett Bonar in the number 4 from Yarmouth may be going a lap down in just a few moments on lap 58. Brandon Campbell right behind your leader, Corey Hall. You're watching on Tim's Corner Motorsports and Vidane TV, the TCM Tranquility Online All-Star Showcase for all the marbles, all the money. Over 35 TCM events since April. All leads to this. One of the big bang races, we'll call it. Going out with a bang tonight here on a Thursday night. And now Corey Hall in the 99 starting to reel in that number 4, a little slower on the track, but not slowing up the number 83 car, Jerry.
Not yet. We'll see what happens as he gets closer, because if Bonner decides he's going to try and stay on that lead lap, he could make this tough on Corey Hall in the 83. And that may be all Brandon Campbell needs to find a way to tighten it up and maybe even get around Corey Hall. But now Bonner pulls down to the bottom of the racetrack, lets the leader go by, and also that second place car of the 99 of Campbell. And so there's 2 gone by safely, but there's a couple more coming.
All that kind of slowed down Brandon Campbell, so I think Corey Hall was enjoying that battle between Bonner and Campbell, but still a little bit of a separation now, about a third of a second now between Campbell and Hall, but Bret Suggs now about a second and an eighth behind, so a little bit of separation through the field as that gaps start to expand.
Just a little bit.
We might be seeing the drivers too take a little care of those tires. I know we talked about not wanting to make pit stops, but you got to take care of the tires, and maybe that's what we're seeing. But not when you see a three-car battle like this one, when you're looking at the number 15 of Matthew Barkhouse, the 6 of Brad Eddy, and the 75 of Mike Alexander. These guys are not taking any care of the tires. They're using it all up trying to get around one another.
Just scrolling through some of the comments here on TCM's feed on Facebook. We see Randy Titus, who's sponsoring some laps tonight, says, I'm pulling for the Speedway 660 drivers, including number 1, the Godfather Ryan Messer, and number 22, Ricky Arbo. Also, Amanda Arsenault wrote, go number 54, Nick Codner, Newfoundland proud. And also Carolyn Bernard cheering on Mr. number 4. That's Barrett Bernard and that number 4 who just went a lap down. So it's pretty cool to see all the fans cheerleading in the comment section. Again, let us know who you're rooting, and we'll give you a shout out on the air here on TCM and Vidane TV. Lap 67 of the TCM All-Star Showcase, watching a bit further back, watching Mike Alexander and Brad Eddy and Alexander Barkhouse sandwich. They're brothers, and they, did you just see the 54 boys get a little loose out of turn 4? Codner clips the wall on the inside.
And that's going to happen as you run harder into the corners, and those tires have got 65 plus laps on them. They're not as fresh as they were when you started this thing. So you got to take care of them. You got to make your choices where you're going to hit it and be prepared. That car is going to move around.
Looks like Brad Eddy is the bologna and the Alexander Barkhouse sandwich. Two brothers, a little shake and bake going on. Alexander in the 75 trying to get around that 6, but the 6 very consistent here tonight and tame between the two brothers.
A little bologna, a little bologna on a Tuesday night. You can actually see Matthew starting to close in on the number 1, Ryan Messer, on lap 71 at 250. In for a little long night here at Five Flags, but things are moving along pretty quick. I'm careful saying that because that's when a caution's going to come out. Once you mention how long of a green flag stretch is currently going on. Brad Eddy throwing some pressure on the rear of Matthew Barkhouse. They're up high a little bit using a middle lane. I think I'm starting to see that lane develop just a little bit compared to a little earlier. And there's the crossover move from Brad Eddy underneath the 15, Matthew Barkhouse. He's going for it, boys. He's going for it, Jerry. Looks like he may have that position, but now he slides back a little bit.
Saw that he wasn't going to do it without using up the race car and decided I'll wait for it. I'll take my chances a little bit later, because we all know if you're going to finish first you got to finish. So Brad Eddy, really good actually at taking care of that race car. He'll watch his timing, not use up the race car, so that when he gets down to those final 30, 40 laps, he's still got lots left underneath him.
Patience is going to be a virtue here tonight with 250 laps on the board. 75 now completed with Corey Hall collecting a lot of dough here after 75 laps as your leader. But the 54 of Nick Codner trying to recoup after that little bobble. Now needs to get up to the 75 here, just within striking distance of about a car length.
And I'm wondering how much wear and tear is going on those tires, especially the cars too. Now in a pretty long green flag stretch, I'm noticing more cars are sliding out of the turns. You can see we're on board with Codner right now. He's the only Newfoundland driver in this field. We're pretty New Brunswick and Nova Scotia heavy. A couple Islanders sprinkled in here, a few Americans as well. Nick Codner, the only driver from the Rock, and he is watching a couple of Nova Scotia drivers. In fact, 3 of them in front. Right in front of him is the number 75, Mike Alexander, and you can see Ricky Arbo behind the 54 now. Corey Hall has led 78 laps so far, and he is still got a good lead over the number 99, Brandon Campbell. Lap traffic hasn't played a factor in his lead and still getting away from the rest of the field.
Well, Bret Suggs has made up about a half a second now on Brandon Campbell. Is starting to enter the picture of that leader run here now with the 23 and the 99. Suggs closing that gap. quite a bit now, 3/4 of a second behind our leader, Corey Hall. But lots of activity here earlier on. 80 laps completed, Jerry. Any favorites here tonight, Jerry?
Well, you know, I'm looking at that 83 out in front, and if he can keep this up, and I mean, after we talked to him last night following that Pro Stock race, he was a little dejected that he made some mistakes at the end and let Brad Eddy have the win. But he's looking strong tonight. I think he's looking fresh. He's going to make sure he doesn't make any strategy calls that put him in jeopardy. So I'm going to go with that 83 car.
Good pick. Good pick. I'm trying to think. You know, I'm kind of feeling good about Ryan Messer, the Godfather, in the number 1. 4th right now, but maybe he's trying to hold back a bit. I think that's maybe something that kind of affected him last time at the Pro Stock race a couple nights ago. He was going pretty hard at the beginning, and then he had a long pit stop after, which somewhat screwed him, to be honest with you. He fell back after that and landed a top 5, but it's not the same as getting the win. I feel like he can get a big win tonight. Number 1. What about you, Mike?
I'm going to take the 54, the lone soldier from Newfoundland and Labrador, Nick Codner from Torbay. You know, he's been so awesome throughout the season. So many races, even early parts months ago, he was within striking distance of a win. But taking 2 wins here in the last little bit, and also taking a win on the dirt. I have a funny feeling the young Bandolero driver, the 54 Codner, has something for us tonight.
Can I phone in a friend for my pick?
Yeah.
Well, my original pick was going to be Kyle Young in that 93 car. He actually raced his way in with that dirt triple header we did there for IWK, and unfortunately he's still battling some internet issues. Kyle, you got a copy, brother?
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, it's still working with the internet demons there?
I really don't know what in the world's going on. I've got internet all on my computer and stuff, but
we got a car around. Kevin King in the 29 car around. We'll come right back to you here, Kyle. Looks like caution is going to come out.
He's only down 85 laps. He can make it up.
Yeah, we'll get him some SpaceX rocket fuel, and we'll get him blasted off to the front. But
so is that your pick?
Well, I was going to have Kyle make my pick for me, and we got the live streaming and all that good stuff up here in the booth. So,
the leader made some contact, just kind of winding it back here. You have to explain, but we see it before the fans see it. I think Corey Hall made a little contact that may hurt him a bit.
That was close. Well, definitely very close. Let's see if we can take a look. Yeah, that looks like contact.
He's got like how much closer do you want?
Yeah, no, there was some contact there. Sent the 29 Kevin King around and didn't hit anything too hard, but unfortunately he was down there in that lower racing groove. So caution comes out. Good call on the caution. Pit road's going to be a busy place. We'll actually switch the camera over to the pit road exit there. And Kyle, man, I was gonna pick you earlier on, but internet issues, so I'm actually gonna defer my pick off to you. Who's gonna win this race, bud?
Anybody but me.
All right, put me on the board for anybody but Kyle Young.
Well, lots of activity on pit road as all the leaders go down. The only one that we're not seeing down on pit road right now, John Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick decides to take advantage of this run and hoping for another caution possibly, but the 78 has decided not. He's been down pit road 3 times this evening, so I'm not sure if Paul can let us know when the last time John Fitzpatrick was actually on pit road. But
last time he's been down 3 times, and the last time he was down was 60 laps ago. So at this point, he's got $2 because he's led 2 laps, so that's pretty cool. Actually, I believe it's $2.50 a lap, correct?
$1 goes towards the purse, $1 goes to the lap winner, and 50 cents goes to Mike James.
Aha! Gotcha. Mike.
Hey, whoa! Where's my cut?
You can have some of the fries that he gets with his burger.
Okay.
But Kyle Young's still up here in the booth, man. Feel free to hang out with us, call the race if you want. If you want to go down and try and keep resetting your router, that's fine too. But man, tough break for you. We know you were excited for this all-star showcase, and unfortunately some internet demons kind of jacked that up for you. So
I know what that's like.
Yeah, that you do.
The Houdini.
Now you see him. Where'd he go?
I kind of like this reset. Really is an advantage. Campbell did go down pit road. He had a 21-second stop. Not sure if he took 2 or 4. We've seen some of these pit stops go to 35 seconds, but a bit of damage resets there. But it's going to be a green flag here, Jerry. Fitzpatrick gets to go, but keep an eye on that 99 of Brandon Campbell.
And Campbell made the pit stop. He is good. He is going to go to work right away and see if he can't get around. I was looking at lap times. When the guys were coming in for tires, they were about a half second slower than their best lap. So tires aren't going to be a huge factor, but boy, they are going to play a role when you're starting out fresh, because that little bit of extra grip they are going to give you makes a big difference. Campbell now gets it out in front to 75. Mike Alexander chasing him through. Here comes the 83 of Corey Hall. And all of a sudden, Brandon Campbell finds himself on the outside watching everybody go by.
Brandon Campbell's leading some laps. Brandon Campbell's getting himself some Do Re Mi, and Mike Alexander wants a piece of the pie. He's in second, and Corey Hall, well, he has most of the pie. I think he wants all of it, and I wouldn't blame him. With money on laps as you can. Lap 95 is in the books. We're on lap 96. Bret Suggs side by side with the number 78, the lone car not to go on pit road with the rest of the cars. It's not playing out. Oh, and look at that. He gets hit by Brad Eddy. The 78 spins at the top of the track, and that will bring up the caution.
Didn't look like too big of a hit there for the 78 of John Fitzpatrick. Definitely a hit in the pride, unfortunately. Back that up here for the Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay, as it were, and find out exactly what went down. We saw he was stuck on the outside trying to, essentially just trying to hang on, because everybody came down pit road. Literally everybody, except for that 78 car. So we'll give it to you from the blimp view, and we'll give it to you in real time. 78 up high, the 15 down low of Barkhouse, and the 6 up high. Gives Eddie gives him just a little bit of a shot. Doesn't it? It's allergies. Like it's allergies. I swear, it's not COVID. But he bumps the. Yeah, I know. Bumps the 78 around. Doesn't hit anything big. Definitely locks those tires up. So I think this is a good opportunity for the 78 to get down there and get some Mr. Feelgoods on that race car.
Yeah, it looked like the 78 came.
We're seeing him on pit road right now.
In front of Brad Eddy.
Mike
So.
Rhino and Jake Goodwin. Now, John Fitzpatrick's not going to fall too far behind. He's going to start in the 16th position as Sam Rogers, Ethan Miller, Kevin King are down a lap. Barrett Bonner's down 2, but looks like Mike Rhino is going to get the, or Sam Rogers got the wave around.
Looks like that's going to go to Mike Rhino, if I'm not mistaken. Jake Goodwin back on the lead lap as well here. But it does look like John Fitzpatrick. He took 4 tires. Lost a lap under caution, so that's a tough break for the 78 car there. There we go.
Bam.
That sounded beautiful.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Tastes better.
Well, Paps.
He's too busy. He's too busy having a couple
think he's
sips.
shotgunning it.
Yeah, maybe. It's Thursday, baby. Thursday, first Thursday of the summer.
It's the weekend eve.
There you go.
Lap 100 of the TCM Tranquility Online All-Star Showcase. We cannot thank Tranquility Online enough for all they've done for the iRacing series. This spring and this summer, they've sponsored so many races. And again, all the sponsors that helped out tonight, including Pit Road TV, and all the lap sponsors, including Carr, Fitzpatrick Racing, sponsoring a good chunk of the racing laps here. So that means the 99, the 75, they're going to be going for some of that money on this restart once we get going again. Corey Hall led over 80 laps before that caution came in after he made some contact with the 29. But now it's the 99, the 75, Mike Alexander, the front row in this restart. The iRacing pace car getting ready to pull in on lap 101. When we cross that start-finish line, lap 102, boys, green flag is back out. Brandon Campbell grabs the lead.
Campbell jumped off for that one, and the 83 of Corey Hall snuck right up to the back end. He wanted to make sure that Mike Alexander could not tuck that 75 down inside. So Corey Hall definitely going after the lead again as he chases down the 99 of Brendan Campbell.
And Campbell never messed around at all on that restart. Fired as soon as the Mustang was out of the way. but advantage to the inside as Corey Hall snuck into that second spot. Mike Alexander in chase right now, but everybody within close quarters right now, and it's like Nick Codner now, my pick, is in 8th spot, trying to come up on Brad Eddy. So a lot of stout drivers here, boys. One thing to note, we're seeing in our time ticker that the fans at home do not see is the level of the license that these guys carry. Here at iRacing, there's different levels as they progress throughout their series. But you're seeing a lot of A-level, high-ranking drivers here tonight, and hence why it's called the All-Star Race. But you look at those licenses, and it's pretty incredible. We got the creme de la creme, like I said earlier on.
Yeah, I'd probably say the driver with least experience. If you're looking at the iRacing level, which actually you can see now on the screen here just for a moment, so you can notice that the number 80 of Ethan Miller is a C license. We've got a ton of A's, a handful of B's. Pretty cool. And that just kind of shows the, and that's kind of what we're seeing too, race fans as well. So a little glimpse behind the scene. We might as well reveal the curtain. It's the last iRace we're doing for Bid. And uh-oh, I think we missed a caution there, Paul. We're showing stuff off.
Breaking the fourth wall here, and we missed a caution. We'll see if we can sift on through.
Breaking kayfabe, brother.
Breaking kayfabe, brother.
My bad. My bad.
Blame Mike James, just like everything else. See if we can kind of rewind the tapes here onto the Shed Life Shed Mover instant replay and shout it out as you see it. See, we got some smoke there. There we go. Looks like we got a green and black car around. Is that Arbo, maybe?
That is.
I think it's Arbo.
That is Arbo.
See what we got.
Ricky Arbo.
Yeah, Ricky Arbo pointed in the wrong direction, and Brad Eddy with his nose where it shouldn't be. Take a look here. Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay. Focus in that black and green number 22 car. And I know Ricky Arbo's got a whole bunch of fans in the chat. No contact. No contact. We'll back that up just a little bit. Just seems like he loses the back end of that race car in the 22. Just kind of gets loose as he's heading on in. No contact from the 6. But the 6 gets contact from the 54. Nowhere to go there, unfortunately. But great job. Great car control there from Ricky Arbo, the number 22. Able to, didn't even have to stop to grab a gear. Just kind of spun around, did a little quick 360, showing off for the fans, letting them know that we got some action-packed racing here going on in the Tim's Corner Motorsports Tranquility All-Star Showcase. And he's going to restart in the back of the pack, but it may very well be a good opportunity to dip on down pit road, grab some tires, maybe bang out some of the sheet metal damage there.
Bang, bang on the hood to try and get the damage out. Lap 110 at 250 for this All-Star Showcase. Brandon Campbell and Corey Hall have swapped the lead. Not really passing each other, though. It's all been on pit road. We did have John Fitzpatrick lead a couple of laps trying to play that strategy of pitting earlier and staying out, but you saw the worn-down tires just did not work. Kyle, you were only in the race for a little bit, but how was the heat racing out there? How'd you find it with only a handful of cars on track?
I wish I would have started the race, but this thing's a little tricky. At least for me personally, I'm not all that great here at Five Flags. It's a track with a lot of character. It's a lot of bumps. It's really fast, and it kind of has a bit of an odd shape to it as well. So this is definitely a challenge. The setup, at least to me, felt a little unique on entry. It kind of was. It kind of fought me a little bit, trying to drive it down into the turn and get it settled. And of course, with it being as bumpy as it is, it's hard to get it to settle down and hold on to one line consistently. So it's definitely a challenging combination, but that's what makes it fun for the drivers. It's nice when you get an opportunity to really wheel the car on the racetrack and show what you're made of. And of course, it puts on a good show for everybody to watch too.
You're kind of pulling the Neil Bonnet when he flipped at Talladega. He wrecked out of the race, and he just went in the booth after to kind of hang out.
The benefits of sim racing, right?
Yeah, you didn't flip and hit the catch fence this time. You just lagged out. Thanks, Internet.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't get it. I can hang out here on Discord. I can view my web browser, but I can't connect to an iRacing server. That doesn't make sense to me.
Nothing makes sense in this world. But green flag is back out there, Jerry. Lap 112 now, lap 113 with the number 99 getting in front of Corey Hall. We got some position swapping in the back after 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and onward.
And Brandon Campbell starting on the pole position there. Had the advantage, took it. Corey Hall did his absolute best to get up there and go with him, but just didn't quite read it right. He fell back into that 2nd spot. Mike Alexander running in that 3rd spot. Bret Suggs in the 33. Then Codner in that 54 car has worked his way up into the top 5. Keep cheering him, Mikey.
Oh, for sure. And on that restart, Corey Hall really did a good job timed that one there, because he had Mike Alexander on the inside of row number 2, so he had to have a good jump to slide in there. And so he did maintain to hold back Mike Alexander on that run. Earlier on, when he took that second position on the last go, he was on the inside of row number 2. So a little bit of flip-flop going on right now between Corey Hall and Mike Alexander over the last couple of questions. But look at that. Nick Codner, the 54, my pick here tonight for Newfoundland Labrador, in the top 5, making a run to the front. And lots of action there. We've got a little glimpse of Danny Chisholm, as Chisholm's trying to come to the front as well.
He's a little man on the move, along with Ryan Messer, who faded back just a little bit during the pit stops during one of the yellow flags. So Ryan's getting back up through the field here on lap 118 of the TCM Tranquility Online All-Star Showcase, watching Ryan Messer and Danny Chisholm. Also Sammy Rogers with the Phil Swift scheme on his number 12, right behind the number 1. There's a move now from Ryan Messer underneath Danny Chisholm, and that's a little further back in the field near the 10th position. Ryan really cuts it low, and now Sam Rogers also following Danny Chisholm, and Keith McClellan starting to pull away from the rest of those cars. Whoa, Ryan, hang on to her brother. Man, he clips the wall just a little bit after getting loose. I don't know if Sam made a little contact with the rear of the number 1, but Ryan keeps it clean. A little damage, though, just a little scuff after hitting the inside wall, Mike.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, Fitzpatrick is now getting collected, I believe, by Noel Fougere.
Well, they sort of save it.
Oh, how did he ever save that, as he was across the front of the 36? Must have got some assistance, but now Ricky Arbeau's going around. So we've got a little bit of carnage here on lap number 122. Caution has not been thrown here as we continue to go green here on lap 122, but we did see Ricky Arbeau kind of cross out, but it looks like Arbeau has jumped out of the server.
And that damage to his car may have been more than we thought it was for him to jump out like that. So hopefully it wasn't technical.
Lap 123 about to cross the halfway point here now. Lap 124, the All-Star Showcase. Brandon Campbell still in front of Corey Hall and Mike Alexander. And you can see Mike Rhino, who had some troubles earlier, now on the lead lap. And look at this trail of cars after Corey Hall in second. Mike Alexander, Bret Suggs, and Nick Codner rounding up the top 5. We've crossed the halfway point here for the TCM All-Star Showcase.
I'm not sure how many laps Brandon Campbell has led here yet, but him and Corey Hall have pretty much split this lap money here. So huge bucks in the pockets here. We're seeing right now on the board here, he has led 33 laps. So we're seeing Corey Hall has led the rest of them. So all the cash right now in 2 pockets. Although, did we have one other leader here tonight?
John Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick came up on that positive. So Fitzpatrick got a toonie in the pocket.
A toonie Thursday, not toonie Tuesday.
This freight train here from second on back is going to get interesting. These drivers aren't going to have patience for a long time, that's for sure. You can already see them starting to look around, looking for a way to get through there. Mike Alexander trying to find a way around the 83 of Corey Hall, but he's got to watch that inside lane, because right behind him is Bret Suggs in that 33. Suggs has been looking down to the inside. He's got a good car holding to the bottom, and Alexander may be living dangerously, looking to pass Corey Hall.
Magic Mike's looking a little higher on the track, trying to get some grip, and Mike is really good again at conserving his car. He may be holding back a little bit if this is a long green flag stretch. Sitting homely in third with Bret Suggs looking underneath the 75. Bret as well could be kind of trying to hold stuff back, because I think they're going to have to make one more pit stop, boys, at least for fuel, and probably for some fresh tires, because this track is not very forgiving with these tires. And now we can see it looks like Brad Eddy putting some moves now on the number 15, Matthew Barkhouse. Now a position change there for 7th and 8th position. That's right behind the number 54, Nick Codner. Oh, Brad dove it in turn number 3 and 4. He's going to slide up and lose that position. He tried gaining in front of the number 15, Matthew Barkhouse.
Yeah, a little wobble there as the 6 of Brad Eddy almost had that position on the 15 as he dove in there. But he's going to slide in here. Boys, patience was a virtue here in the half point. But, you know, all these guys, top-tier drivers, I got a funny feeling that, like you said earlier on, Jerry, that 75 and several other of these top 10 drivers are going to want to start making their moves here at past the halfway mark.
Well, I think so. They know they've got less than 100 to go, and you're not dealing with a regular Saturday night crowd. You're dealing with the creme de la creme of the racers here. So if they're going to do it, they've got to start making their moves now. You're going to have to take some chances and make some things happen. Waiting for it to come to you, that's just not an option tonight.
And I think we're seeing, Jerry, how important it is to be out in front, not only to get that lap money, but it just seems like the leader is getting that fresh air, and they're able to take advantage of it, because when Corey was leading, no one was getting near him really, and now since the 99 is taking the lead, no one is even close to him, even further away from when he was in second spot. So Brandon Campbell in the 99, who raced his way in a couple nights ago in the qualifying race to make this All-Star Showcase, kind of a LCQ to make this race, is currently leading on lap 137. Mike Alexander still trying to see if he can use the outside lane to catch up to Corey Hall. After that, it's Bret Suggs and the number 54, Nick Codner, now still in fifth and keeping his line there right in tow with the 175, Mike Alexander, Mr. Mikey.
Yeah, I think the top five right now is pretty happy where they are. It's still a bit of time. They're all within striking distance in the top five. But what we're seeing right now is Bret Suggs is just pecking at that 15 car of Matthew Barkhouse. Every couple of laps here now, we're seeing him drop to the bottom here. But Matthew is looking really good on the outside, holding his own and trying to slingshot that around. And Eddie is having a really hard time trying to get around that 15, which is using up a bit of that 6 car here tonight.
And it's interesting if you've been checking the lap times, because Corey Hall was about a 1/10 of a second behind Brandon Campbell's lap times and didn't seem really that interested in trying to pick it up. But what he was doing, the guys behind him were content to sit there. Nobody was really going after him, even though some of them were turning times, and Mike Alexander, for one, was running the same times as Brandon Campbell. So as you watch the lap times go by, it's pretty obvious these guys are being patient, and we've seen Corey Hall do this before. It's a strategy. I'm not going to use up the car chasing down Campbell until I need to. Campbell can run out in front all he wants, but there'll come a caution, and it will tighten up the field. So let him run the wheels off of it. I'm going to save mine.
One driver, I think, who's getting a little impatient is the number 33, Bret Suggs, as we saw just a little bit ago. He tried going around Mike Alexander, but then he just kind of got a little squirrely and fell back a little bit. So he's drifted back here, and now he's settled in fourth position. I sometimes forget that Corey Hall is not leading this race. He led the early get-go.
A lot of these guys are starting to analyze their competitor in front of them, so you can only imagine how stir crazy they are right now. Got guys that want to run out front, but like Jerry said, I believe they're saving their car right now. Spotters are trying to tame the driver down and tell him to calm down, save it. We've still got lots to go here, as we got about 105 laps to go here at the Five Flags Pensacola All-Star Showdown, and it is going to be an All-Star Showdown, because if this continues on here, we're going to have the final 25 laps, I believe.
It looks like they're playing that game of keep him in sight, but don't chase him down. The faster you chase him, the faster he's going to go. And we're all going to use up our cars, so let's make sure we all have a little something to go after one another when we get down past the 200 lap mark. That's where I expect this thing to really turn up the wick.
And like every TCM event, Jerry, by the end, things are right at the bottom of the wick. Drivers are giving it all. I can imagine a few more cautions coming out as drivers start to kind of throw patience out the window and they want to try and get in front. Because another thing too, Jerry, top 10, besides first place, is paying $30. That's nothing to sneeze at with iRacing. That's more money than they came in with probably before they were driving iRacing tonight. So that's going to be some money they want. So even the battle for 10th and 11th is going to be pretty intense. And now we can see the intensity starting to turn up a little bit. You can see Brad Eddy trying to go underneath the number 15, Matthew Barkhouse. But Bret Suggs, again, is looking underneath Mike Alexander as Mike is trying the outside lane. Seeing how that's going to work. 100 laps left to go in the TCM All-Star Showcase, Mike.
Yeah, we're watching now side-by-side racing of the 15 and the 6 of Brad Eddy. Brad Eddy's been working on that for almost 25 laps to get around Barkhouse. Barkhouse holding his own to the outside, still drag racing with the 6, not wanting to give it up. I'm not quite sure if the 15 will just let it go, because right now both cars using up a lot of that car. And here at Five Flags, being on the outside, you're cheddering up those tires a little bit more than the inside.
And if you're on that outside lane, you also got to remember that concrete wall is just out there waiting for you. One slip up, one slide, and you could do some damage to the car in a big hurry. But Bret Eddie in the 6 car looks like he may finally be making good on that pass. It looks like he's got the nose out in front. Just kind of keep on digging, trying to get by the 15 of Barkhouse. But the battle in front of them also side by side, as that's the 33, I believe, of Suggs and the 54 of Codner. And I think Codner is moving forward. Suggs is sliding backwards a little bit.
Yeah, Nick is using the outside lane, and it's working for the young Newfoundland driver. Following Mike Alexander, I think, kind of the master here with iRacing, it seems. He's starting to find a little bit of grip on the outside. Oh, and Nick made a little bit of contact on the inside part there with the number 33, Bret Suggs. He's going to fall back, and Bret Eddie and Matthew Barkhouse, man, they almost went straight into the wall. They almost took bumpers going out of turn number 2. They may have clipped it just a bit, especially the number 15, Matthew Barkhouse. He falls back after trying to go around the number 6. So that was some tight quarters there, boys, and it didn't work out for both those drivers. And now we've got some more single file racing after they were double file for a little bit.
I can't imagine what the spotters are saying to the drivers at this point of the race. What are you doing? You know, I'd say there's a bit of yelling going on, you know, trying to calm their drivers down. You got some, like I said, right from the very beginning of this race, we got some big dogs in this race. And, you know, guys that want to be out front, they like to be in front with the clean air. But, you know, right now, Campbell is in total control with 66 laps completed with lead. And, you know, he's comfortably out front as everybody settles in there. Corey Hall still turning laps here. We see Nick Codner just laying back there, studying back there of Bret Suggs. But there was a little contact between the two as Codner tried to pinch him down there to try to make the pass. But Bret Suggs, being a crafty veteran here in the iRacing, the 54's got to be careful with that 33.
Well, I'm watching the 99 and Campbell stretch out that lead on Corey Hall. It's now almost, we're getting close to 2 full seconds behind, and that's a lot of room to catch up. I think Corey Hall is absolutely confident there's going to be a caution flag that is going to bring him up alongside the leader, so he's just going to play it cool, save that race car for when it counts, and just keep marking off the laps as he goes.
88 laps to go in the TCM Tranquility Online All-Star Showcase. All the marbles, a lot of money on the line tonight. I think I'd probably say right now Brandon Campbell's up lap so far this race, and he is starting to collect the money, getting $1 per lap led here at TCM and here at Five Flags Speedway. Now, with the tires starting to wear off a bit, I still have a question mark. Will there be some green flag stops? And if tires are starting to wear off, how many cars are going to be sliding the turns? And could that bring out a caution? That's something that probably Corey Hall wants to see soon enough.
And I think you just answered your own question, Dylan, when you said, will they make pit stops? And as the tires, where they're going to start sliding. That's kind of what's going to bring out the caution. I can see that coming already. These guys have been over 75 laps now since they pitted. Those tires are starting to show the wear. You're watching the lap times beginning to drop off a little. We were running right close to the 16-second mark. Now we're over 16 and a half, and that's by the leader. So I'm already seeing these guys, the tires are starting to give it up a little bit, and usually when that happens and the drivers are a little weary now, they've got 166 laps in, and that's a lot of concentrating, so they're going to start really showing what it is that it is to be behind that wheel and maybe wear yourself out just a little bit, and that usually leads to bad things.
Ooh, if I'm Brandon Campbell, I'm a little scared. Our Paul Strickland just pointed out there is a slew of slow cars, and there's a wreck. Bam! Right in front of the leader. Wow. Take the words out of my mouth. There's that caution, and the lapped cars, slower cars, wrecked in front of Brandon Campbell. Brandon, take that horseshoe out of the car. You may need it again soon. Wow. Crazy. We'll have to get a replay on that. I don't know who got involved. I think I saw Sam Rogers get sideways, but we'll have to bring up the giant replay here. That's some good luck for the 99, but probably bad luck as well, because now it's going to bunch the field up.
For sure.
Retired.
See if we can take a look. It's the 80 and the 87, it looks like. So we'll back this up here, give you an instant replay from the blimp view. And man, oh man, you guys said it a couple of times. That was all the luck the 99 car had, just got used up right there. But we'll take a look here. We got it queued up. 80 down low. I'm not sure which car number that is up high there. I believe it's the 87 in Chisholm. Fighting over the same piece of real estate. They're door to door here in the turn, and they just get hooked. 80 goes up into the wall. The 12 gets a piece of it. And man, where was the 99 at Campbell? Because he definitely almost got a piece of that. You can see there he is right there behind the number 4 car. Wrong button. And follows through. A little bit of a tap there from the 12 car. Not so bad. See if we can find out. 12 car pointed in the wrong direction. And we'll take a look at that just one more time here. Because 99 definitely did get a piece of it. And it looks like we got some pit stops going on here too. But nothing too worse for the wear. It doesn't look like it phased them too much. So tough break for the guys in the back. And man, oh man, Brandon Campbell using up all the luck here so far.
Sam Rogers just looked like he was just trying to get out of the way when he realized the leader was coming and thought, nope, don't want to wreck him, and got back into it, and that's what ended up spinning him down to the low side of the track.
Actually looks like Mike Rhino may have stayed out to lead a lap, get himself a buck in the pocket, and he's going to come back down pit road and get some tires. But it looks like right now Brandon Campbell's still going to be the leader after pit stops here. And man, oh man, just looking at it, everybody came down pit road. 78 gets the wave around. John Fitzpatrick back on the lead lap. He's more than likely going to be coming down for tires as well here. So, man, it's going to be an exciting race to the finish here. We know we don't really have to consider this being a fuel mileage or anything like that. So we'll see how these guys can manage their tires for the second half.
Yeah, Mike wanted that donut money just to lead that lap.
That's it.
Well, Campbell had the quickest pit stop at 20.6 seconds, just by a tenth of a second ahead of Ryan Messer. So he was the quickest on pit road and still maintained that lead, boys. So it's going to be a good restart here, a refresh for a lot of these guys. And I know one particular car that was happy about that was Mike Rhino, as he was down on lap, and John Fitzpatrick still on the lead lap. But we got Barrett Bonner, Sam Rogers down a couple laps. And we have quite a few retired, but we are going to go green here. Green, Jerry.
And Campbell gone away with Corey Hall tucked right in behind him. It didn't take long for that to happen. As in third spot, Nick Codner, and that number 54. He's got Mike Alexander in the 75 to his outside as they come around down out of turn number 4. And we are rapidly approaching 75 to go. And that's good. I think that's going to start this.
Campbell! Wrecks! Campbell hits the wall. A bunch of leaders now wreck. Matthew Barkhouse spins. I don't know if Corey Hall made some contact. We weren't focusing on the leaders there. Sorry to interrupt, Jerry, but this is going to be a big game changer. The leader wrecks on 176 here at Five Flags. Going to bring the replay up, and it looks like there may be some contact. That's going to throw the top two at the back of the field. Paul, what happened?
Yeah, Shed Life, Shed Movers instant replay here from the blimp. Looks like we got some contact between the second place car. Connor gives him a little bit of a shot and comes up, gives him a second shot, spins him on around, heads up into the wall, doesn't spin around, gets Alexander gets a big piece of it, Barkhouse gets a piece of it, spins around, the 4 gets a piece, he gets in the Keith Mack in a 30 car. Man, oh man, a lot of the front runners that we've seen up front in all of these Tim's Corner special events were involved here too. We'll back it up, see if we can get a view from a little bit further back. A lot of guys did a really good job of locking the cars up, locking the tires up to not get involved here. But you can see 4 to 56 to 30 to 36 to Fougere. They all do a great job. Everybody gets woed up and just a little bit of
driving by Speed and Matthews.
Yeah, no kidding.
Great. Hey guys, think about something. They all came out of the pit just a couple of laps ago with fresh tires. How many have got flat spotted tires now?
100%, absolutely. It's something to think about for sure.
Not only that, I said after with 75 to go, they were going to crank it up. They did. They forgot that just because they got new tires doesn't mean you can go fast or faster.
So, Mike, look who's in the lead now. Newfoundland's Nick Codner in the 54. He avoided all that, and Magic Mike Alexander is going to be starting in his outside. That's the thing with racing. Sometimes you can dominate the first part of a race, but one bad turn, one little bad luck incident can mess up your entire night. And that's the case for Brandon Campbell and Corey Hall because of no-fault cautions. Now the 83 has been sent to the tail of the longest line, along with Matthew Barkhouse, who I think is trying to fix some repairs. He got a lot of damage. He was hit by a few cars there. So now things have changed up a little bit. You can see the top three on the score ticker: Nick Codner, Mike Alexander, Brad Eddy. There's the Godfather, Ryan Messer, back in the top five, and Bret Suggs in that 5th position.
Huge flip around here. We've seen Corey Hall and John Fitzpatrick on pit road again. Corey Hall visiting the 2nd time here, but you know what, a flip-flop here for the boys. But the 54 M&R Performance, Wingcoat DC Auto, Torbay native, one of the top development drivers coming out of the Bandolero series here at Eastbound Park. Nick Codner, this is where he wants to be with a little clean air. Got control of this race. We got lights out, Jerry. The 54 has the hammer. He's got Mike Alexander on the outside.
And the pace truck, or pace car rather, tonight, keeping them around, and ducks off to the infield. Here we come at a turn number 4, green, 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 and Codner, a great restart as he takes off. And they are side by side behind him as the number 6 of Brad Eddy and the 75 of Mike Alexander, trying to sort out which one of them is going to be in P2.
Tough go for a few drivers. They fell back on that restart. One driver who shot right out of the gate is the 54 from Newfoundland, Nick Codner. Oh, Mike Alexander clipped the wall a little bit coming out of turn 2. Now he's on the outside, falling back a bit. P2 now going to go to Brad Eddy. P3 may go to Bret Suggs. Magic Mike is not having his magic word go, but maybe he cast a spell on the field because there's a caution out now to bunch the field up once again. Cautions, breeding cautions, and we're focusing on Corey Hall. I wonder if the Robbie's Towing 83 may have brought that out, some fender damage in the front.
Yeah, the Robbie's Towing car might have to get in touch with Robbie's Towing here. We saw he was off the pace as that caution flag came out. And we're just kind of backing up the replay here just a little bit, and that is absolutely who is involved here. So pulling up the Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay. I'm going to give it to you in real time, and you'll see the 83 coming in behind the 12 car. Gives him a little bit of a shot. And the 12 kind of comes down and...
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Well, that happened. We'll give it...
Should we bring Tim Terry in here?
Well, somebody should probably call Tim. Well, we'll give him a call in a little bit. I'm sure he's a little bit busy down there. We'll see if we can take a look at the 12 cars in car. He's actually no longer in the race, so I bet that's a big piece of it here. So you can see he shoots all the way down after getting a shot, and... Yeah, man, oh man.
I think Sam went hunting.
That's definitely what it looked like here, so we'll...
No, I mean, before he decided to opt out of the race.
Yeah, something.
How about this, boys? We get Sam's money. He decided to do that. We get his prize money.
For sure. We'll, excuse me, we'll see if we can bring Tim in here and find out what the call was on that. Looks like we might be splitting $10, yeah?
We're going to the bar. I don't know how many we can buy with $10, but Sam Rogers was removed from the server for what looked like a retaliation from the corner before. So he's done for the night. We're done after tonight. So that's kind of the way it goes. So he's got a summer to think about that. But that's the way it is. We also warned the 99 for conduct after caution two cautions ago.
Roger that. Well, hey, $10 will get us a bottle of that Diablo wine. We can split that up here in the booth.
$10 Canadian. Woo. We get like 3/4 of a bottle of Diablo wine. It's like $13 here in Nova Scotia.
Oh, jeez.
That's like $8 US.
We almost told Bret Suggs earlier that if he wins the race, just to confirm it is in Canadian dollars. But yeah, it's so far so good. Great to see Nick Codner running up front. Strategies played a little bit into this as well. We're going to see some comers and goers. Mike Alexander at the back of the field. Matthew Barkhouse, Corey Hall is going to probably have some damage from that last incident. So this is going to change things up a little bit. I'm excited to see how this plays out.
Well, I can already see there's going to be a couple of other guys excited to see how this plays out. Nick Codner in the 54 being one of them. Brad Eddy in that number 6 car. He's on the outside of that front row for the restart. That is going to set things up for a scrap. Bret Suggs in that number 33 starting on the inside of the second row. Then the number 1 of Ryan Messer. So all those guys we talked about earlier that we thought would really be there, and they kind of disappeared on us, they're right back up front.
Don't got to be the first person at the show as long as you're there at the end. Green flag is back out for Newfoundland's Nick Codner, but Brad Eddy, a great restart for himself. He slides at the inside lane now. Bret Suggs right behind him, lap 189 and 250. The longest TCM event we've got. We're going out with a bang tonight, and things have certainly changed up front. Brandon Campbell, Corey Hall no longer in front if you were watching a bit earlier and you checked out for a bit. Welcome back and strap in for an exciting show because Nick Codner is in front of Brad Eddy and Bret Suggs on lap 190, Mike.
Yeah, and you know, that's where you want to be the leader right now as see to go here, and cautions kind of breed cautions, and like Jerry was talking about earlier, he said within 75 everybody's going to crank up the wick. And we're already seeing that with some of these cautions. And unfortunately for Brandon Campbell on pit road, he's going to be down 12 laps. One of the top runners here tonight, the 99 Brandon Campbell, looks like he's retired for the evening. But lots of action up front with Ryan Messer and Bret Suggs now inside the picture now for the big one here tonight.
Well, after all that scrapping going on the racetrack, Corey Hall is still working it out. He is in the top 10. We'll see if he can make his way back towards the front. But he's got some tough contenders in front of him, one of them being Mike Alexander in that 75. And now we see Corey Hall, who we've watched run the low side of the racetrack consistently all night. He's starting to look to the outside, trying to find some racing room around the 75. He's going to take a look and follow the 34 of Mike Rhino, see if that works out.
I would not count out Mike Alexander and Corey Hall just yet. With 55 laps to go, there's still plenty of time for those drivers to get to the front. You watch, race fans. You know Magic Mike and Corey are going to get up front there. It's lap 195 here at the TCM All-Star Showcase. Now lap 196 with Nick Codner in front. So Nick's going to get some of that lap money going back to the homeland, Newfoundland. And he's still got a little bit of a lead in front of Brad Eddy. But Bret Suggs now throwing some pressure, kind of looking on the outside of Brad Eddy, who won 2 nights ago here doing the TCM deal again. But that time it was for the Parts of Trucks Pro Stock Tour. Brad won at the very big track compared to Five Flags Richmond Raceway. Shortening things up just a little bit. The length of the race, though, a little longer with 250 laps. Bret Suggs, the lone American left in the field, I believe, one of them. He's in 3rd, and the Godfather is in 4th, and Keith McClellan from Cape Breton's in 5th, rounding up the top 5.
It looks like the 29 of Kevin King on the move here now as he tries to come up on Keith McClellan in the 30, so entering the picture. Lots of activity here with 51 to go, almost 50 laps. This is where we're going to see some intensity from all these top drivers here at the TCM All-Star, presented by Tranquility, but our good buddy from Newfoundland, from Torbay, representing DC Auto and M&R Performance and Winco. That 54 Codner is in a great position right now with all that clean air. About a 1/3 of a second in separation between himself and the 6 car of Brad Eddy, Jerry.
And Brad Eddy, don't count him out. He may be saving a little race car. Why use it up now? He's still got 48 laps to run. He knows it, and he's just also got a bumper full of Bret Suggs in that 33. So he may be busy elsewhere and not able to really concentrate on getting around the 54, as he has to do a little defensive driving. The number 1 of Ryan Messer sitting back there in 4th spot. And then that number 30 of Keith McClellan. Just not top 5. Any one of them could make the move towards the front. We'll see what happens as that freight train gets a little longer, a little quicker.
Just a little bit. I can also see it looks like maybe Mike Alexander starting to close in, starting to get on this picture here. So it may be a 7 or 8 car trailer. Yeah, John Fitzpatrick behind the 29 car. So John Fitzpatrick, he was one of the drivers who took the gamble. Corey Hall was behind the 75. I don't know where he drifted off, but again, I mentioned it. Don't keep your eye off Magic Mike Alexander. Now he's in the lead pack here on lap 205, Mike.
Yeah, for sure, and lots of moves on the go. But if you were Larry Mack now and you were pulling the statistician calculator out right now, 99.9% chance of a caution before we get to the end of this, as we have some really good drivers that are good at holding the lead, but we also have a lot of good drivers that know how to get around. So when we put those two together, there's probably going to be an intersection.
We also know that as these guys decide to really put the hammer down and make the moves, desperation sets in as you get into those closing laps, and you do what you got to do to get there. Even if it means, you know, a little paint exchange here and there.
Oh, there's going to be some paint exchange.
The chrome bumper is going to be used a little bit. There's going to be some beat up fenders by the end of this thing, if not already. You can actually see the number 29 throwing some pressure on the number 30. I think the bumper being used a little bit. In front, it's still Nick Conner. A little bit of a lead in front of Brad Eddy and Bret Suggs, with Ryan Messer in the number 1 watching. A little bit behind, though. Bret Suggs is trying to do something maybe to encourage the number 6, Brad Eddy, saying, hey, we got to start moving because Nick Conner is starting to get a little bit of a lead, and there is the number 33. Now it's go time with 40 laps to go. One of the Americans underneath Brad Eddy. Oh, contact,
baby.
Brad. Can you hang on to it? He does.
Oh! Okay.
He saved it, but had to use the 29 as a little booster. But that will bring up the caution, though, boys, with 39 laps to go.
That was a hip check. That's a hockey move.
You're darn right it was.
It was an oh baby moment.
Oh baby.
Oh,
everything is happening.
Some squirreliness, some tangliness happened, and we're under caution. Man, talk about car control. Holy cow. We'll back this up a little bit, even though we saw it live here. You're going to be able to see the 6 car and the 33. The 6 is on the high side, 33 is down low, and 33 of Suggs just kind of looks like they're heading on down to the 3, and Suggs says, hey, I'm going to take this spot, if you don't mind. And Kevin King gets, just happens to be in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Right spot for the 6 cars. He's able to straighten it back out. We probably could have kept going green, but I still think it was a good call throwing the yellow there for the caution. We got less than 20 laps, or no, less than 50 laps to go here. Less than 40 to go. Math and all that
Whittle
stuff.
it down a bit.
We have
Pull
some
out that
laps to go,
there,
and we're going to be going green here in a couple. So we got like a 33 and a third % chance of finishing this race at some point tonight.
There is
what was your stat?
The what?
Did you say 33%?
33 and a third %.
No,
we're going with Steiner math now.
99.9% that we're going to have another caution at lap 235.
Mike, you got it all wrong. There is a 141 2/3 chance of wrecking tonight at the All-Star Showcase.
Yeah, but there's 4 of us up here in the booth, so that's 4 divided by 33 and a third % chance, plus 100% chance that somebody is going to win, except for Kyle Young. Kyle Young's not going to win. Is Kyle still here?
Sadly.
So luckily, it looks like my pick's going to win right now, because I picked anybody but Kyle Young.
So, Kyle, give me your thoughts. The drivers, I watched what happened with Brad Eddy. Bret Suggs kind of said to him, no, you stay up there in the high lane. I'm just going to stay out here in the middle. Is that going to set up for maybe, I'll remember that?
Oh, well, we've already kind of seen that already tonight, and now that we're down to, we're going to be 36 laps to go here when they hit this stripe and knock this one out. Like you guys and like what Tim has said, this is it. There are no more TCM events coming up here, at least for the foreseeable future after this one. So I guess it depends on how important your money is. Do you want to get paid tonight, or do you want to get even?
Yeah, we saw Sam Roger to get the boot for driving pretty aggressive, and I don't know if Sam's going to get that money. Again, $100 is going to the winner tonight. $30 to the rest of the top 10, and then after that, everyone gets $10. Basically, their entry fee to race tonight. But again, the laps led, that's adding up too, and a guy who's been leading a good chunk of them, from in the last part is the number 54, Nick Codner, 2:15 in the books. Oh, a little bit of smoke. I don't know if that was just a little glitch, though, but Bret Suggs is on the rear, putting pressure on the 54, looking on the inside there, Mike.
Yeah, Suggs coming on real strong right now on the 54, and the 54 is going to get pitched out to the top. We've seen that pinch from Suggs earlier on Brad Eddy as he pinched up to the top. But look at that, the 54 comes fighting back into Torbay native, and the DC Auto Machine takes back control of the lead on lap 217 and maintains Suggs back there behind in P2.
But Suggs has had a taste of being up in front. He's going to go back after it. You know he is. He's just going to quote that. Caution flag is out again.
Oh, baby. It's before the 235, so we're all wrong. It was 100%.
We'll back this up one more time here for the Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay. Definitely heard it happen live. We didn't see what happened live, but luckily we got the blimp cam, and I don't know who's flying that blimp, but great job up there, manning that camera. We're going to focus in 56. What do we got going on? The 56, the 75, the 36 Bougier. Not entirely sure what happened, but I know at least a couple of these cars were involved. And there it looks like it started with the 6 and the 30, so we're going to back that up one more time here and get exactly what happened to those drivers, Keith Mack and the 6 car of Brad Eddy. Looks like... I don't like using the word intentional, but it looked...
kind of looked like the 6 car just rode up the racetrack. I mean, they've been using up the tires pretty bad, so he may have just slid up a little bit. That's what it looks like.
I think we can call it that, but then you see the Barkhouse involved, 34, Mike Rhino 4's involved, a bunch of guys kind of a little bit tore up. The 24's going the wrong way. There he goes. Spins it around, grabs the gear, points it in the right direction. So a lot of damage on these cars here towards the mid to towards the back of the pack. Taking a peek real quick, it looks like we still have, even after 220 laps, we have 15 cars on the lead lap. Ethan Miller's 1 lap down, and Brandon Campbell's back in the race in the 99. He's 17 laps down, but one thing I want to keep... one thing I want to make mention, we got a new third-place driver. We talked about him briefly earlier on, but Kevin King. Man, Kevin King is... he's up there in the iRacing world. He's definitely won a lot of races. As we made mention, he's he's in the Coca-Cola eNASCAR series, and he's got a handful of wins there. And man, he knew right off the rip this is going to be a long race. So for the most part, he's probably just been kind of leaning back in his chair just a little bit, maybe holding onto the steering wheel with one hand, and maybe sifting through YouTube on the other hand. But now that we've got less than 50 laps to go, he's really cranked it up. He's kind of methodically worked his way through the field, and now he's up there in third place. He's got a little bit fresher tires than some of these guys. He pitted 49 laps ago, where 52 laps to go with Codner and Suggs in front of him. But man, it's gearing up to be one heck of a finish here, boys.
Yeah.
2 Americans right behind the lone soldier from the Rock, Mike. How do you think he's feeling? He's a young driver, Bandolero driver. You've got 2 of the best iRacers and, frankly, some of the best racers in the States with Bret Suggs. He's a pretty good truck racer.
Well, for those that don't know Nick Codner, I've watched him grow up since he was 9 on the racetrack, and he had a big wreck in his first year, and he went right back at it. And this kid is probably one of the most focused drivers I've ever witnessed. He's just, he's so calm and collected, and I got a funny feeling he's going to send it home here tonight. He's got some big dogs surrounding him here now, so we'll see you on the restart here as we get going on lap 223. Codner with the hammer kind of slows and checks everybody up and uses a little strategy here from the 54 and the DC Auto Machine as the 2 Americans will go toe-to-toe, King versus Suggs for that position number 2. A little drag racing going on, and that's exactly what the 54 Codner wants right now.
Took the words out of my mouth there. He wants to see the 2 Americans side by side. It's going to make it easier for him to try and pull away. With 25 laps to go, Nick is probably praying there's no more cautions, because that's just going to bunch up the field. That means he's going to have to hit his marks again on the restarts. And whoa, Bret Suggs, King gives him a little bit of a love tap and shoves the 33 up the track. And here comes the Godfather. There was 3 parts for the Godfather movies. Maybe this is part 3 for the number 1, Ryan Messer. He's charging, trying to go underneath the 33. He grabs position number 3. Now his objective to fully get around the number 33. And where did John Fitzpatrick come from? He played different strategy earlier. Now he's in that 5th position, right in this battle, watching the number 1, the 33, duke it out in the catbird seat. But in front, it is Nick Codner, Jerry, and he's running away.
And Codner running a great race. He's played the strategy right into his hand. And the only thing that would make him happier than seeing them 2 wide behind him is 3 wide and maybe 4 wide. That would make him really happy. But I don't think we're going to get that wide at Five Flags. Codner, though, stretching out that lead. You can see it there as they go down the front straightaway. And he is hitting his marks, making sure he keeps it clean, keeps the car where he wants it, not where somebody's making him go.
Kevin King in the 29, now getting clear. Suggs is about a half a second behind Nick Codner, but Codner picking up about 5/100ths of a second every lap here now, so standing in his lead for the 54 car. But you have to understand, with 20 to go here, boys, we have 14 cars on the lead lap that are going to try to come up like a freight train. I have a funny feeling we're going to see that caution, that yellow flag come out just yet.
You said it.
There
it's
it
happening.
is. Lap
Right on.
231. You got Corey Hall. You got 14 cars on the lead lap, and everybody is going to turn into a freight train at this point of the game.
All right, Mike, what's the lotto numbers for tonight? You predicted that pretty good.
Just spit them out. Spit them out. Let's go. Come on.
6, 29,
Where's my
45,
pen? 6.
4,
Niner,
23,
13.
Don't pick 93.
32.
No, they don't offer 93 on the Lotto Max here, so that's
and
good.
69.
Nice. Take a look at the Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay here. You see Hall up high at Keith Mack. Never will be, brother. But you see Hall, he gets a little piece of the wall, but the floor gets under the 24. A little bit of a tap from Keith Mack. You see Alexander's around. It looks like he saves it. He actually saves it off in front of the 99. Great driving there. We'll take a quick peek there. Hall grabs a gear, spins her on around. Let's take a look at that save from the number 75 car, that cyan blue machine there. And I know it's cyan because it used to be the color of my old company logo, Xlander, back in the day. So you can see the calamity in front of him, the tangliness in front of him. Completely perpendicular to the 99, and just says, hey, let me just use your nose real quick. Burp, straightens her right back out. So no damage there from Mike Alexander. He's running 11th right now. Might be a good opportunity for some of these guys to come down pit road, maybe get some tires towards the back, see if they can kind of work their way up towards the front. But man, oh man, Nick Connor's still leading.
$100 tonight.
Paul, we've been with you for a couple months now. I really appreciate your sound effects.
You know, it's funny, too, because we did see the World E-Series of Racing when and Ryan Stevens, he's actually the track announcer down at New Smyrna, and every time I see a car, I do a replay, and I'll see a car, and they make contact, I say, boop. Ryan Stevens actually picked it up, and apparently he started doing it at the real racetrack, so it's that legacy factor. At least, you know, you're going to think Showtime Paul Strickland Jr., and the only thing that's going to come to mind is, boop.
It's better than a cell phone going off. Did you guys catch that? Jeff Gordon's cell phone went off during the Talladega race. I heard it. There was like 3 laps to go, and it was faint. I heard it enough like to be like, oh, Jeffy's getting text messages. Didn't turn his ringer off.
It's the wife. Bring home milk.
So, anyways, we got our phones on silent, but man, things are going to get loud here at the moment. 15 laps to go. Probably about 13 when we refire again. The pace lights are off, and these are going to be the biggest 13 laps in young Nick Codner's iRacing career, maybe his racing career, because this is for $100, and he's led a good number of laps too, and he's got 2 fast Americans right behind him. As we start to wind up the field, you can see some of the other drivers who had some heartache tonight. The 33, Bret Suggs, the number 1, Ryan Messer, John Fitzpatrick, Matthew Barkhouse back in 6th place. And after that, we'll find out what happens. 13 laps to go for the TCM All-Star Showcase, and Codner, another great restart, Mike.
Yeah, they're a little bit different, but we got wreckage again, and here we go. Caution is back out again, just like I said. Freight trains trying to come up through. This is no time to be sitting back, and you're going to see a lot of this happen. I got a funny feeling we're going to caution this right down to a green-white checkered as a lot of these big dogs trying to get to the front, Paul.
Man, oh man, somebody is on that caution button, and they are just hovering
It
real
is
close
nothing
to
but
it.
it's not
Calamity. Tangley.
Not Calamity.
They got all Tangley up there in the front. Doesn't look like anybody got pointed in the wrong direction. A good piece of heads-up driving there from Kevin King. You'll see it right now. Gets a little bit of a shot there from Suggs. He gives a shot to the wall, shot from Barkhouse, and just kind of slows everybody down here. But nobody pointed in the wrong direction, no major damage. But man, looks like Kevin King's going to be restarting 6th here. But he just restarted outside that front row. So I bet you that's going to light a fire under Kevin King, and he's really going to be firing it off here with less than 10 laps to go on this restart.
I know, boys, if I was Nick Codner right now, we've seen 2 different strategies on these restarts. We've seen the checkup where he checked the whole field up behind him on the 2 cautions before. The last one he fired right away. I got a funny feeling being on the outside, Bret Suggs is questioning what is going to be the strategy on this restart for the 54. And it's going to be a little bit of Russian roulette right now for Suggs on the outside to try to determine what that 54 is going to do right here.
For sure, Mike, and it's one of those things with iRacing. We allude to it, we try to anyway, every race that we do here at Tim's Corner Motorsports. With iRacing, the restarts are pretty much up to the leader. They can restart at any time between when the pace car dips down pit road and when the actual green flag is waved. So there's definitely a few seconds in there where you can pretty much pick where you want to go. And we've seen a lot of these guys. Codner's really good at it. Alexander's really good at it. Suggs is really good at it. He mixes it up. He doesn't do the same thing twice in a row. He'll either go right as soon as a pace car dips off. He'll wait. He'll kind of back the field up, check the field up, and get a good shot off of there. So that's really going to be the strategy. And I think that's what's going to win the race is the restart right here.
And look at the number 1, boys. The Godfather, Ryan Messer, is going to be on the inside right behind Codner. If he was holding back anything, I would try and bump him out of the way cleanly. You don't want to get kicked out and bring out another caution, but to maybe ride him up the track a little bit. Maybe the 33 gets a little caught up in it too. That could open the door for the number 1 to steal this win tonight.
We have lights out, Jerry, and that's going to bring us within 8 laps. So take us through this. It's going to be Codner and Suggs as we go down the backstretch into 3 and 4.
This one's going to get a little tense, so get a fresh one. You're going to need it. As we come around into turn number 3, pace car's gone. Here we go. Codner on the gas as we come down the front straightaway. But Suggs not getting tossed away this time. He pulls in behind the 54 of Codner immediately, and they are still 2 by 2 behind them. The leader and the second place car, nose to tail. And man, Codner has got his hands full.
6 laps to go for the TCM All-Star Showcase. There was not a lot of real estate to close the door on the number 33 Suggs. Coming up to 5 laps to go, Mike, you can see everyone's jockeying for position, trying to get that money. $30 for the top 10, $100 for the winner tonight, and it's still Newfoundland's Nick Codner in front.
Without a caution right now, that battle is going to be Suggs versus Codner, and you know there is going to be a scrub at some point. Will Suggs will leave it for the final lap here as they come around with 4 to go. They have a huge gap, about a half a second from the rest of the leaders. If this does not go caution-free, this is going to be an intense finish between the top 2.
Bret gave him the bump and run.
You can see it right there. Suggs loosened up the 54 of Codner. That was enough to get underneath. Codner doing a great job on the outside, staying with him, trying to get that lead back, but Suggs taking advantage of the low side of the racetrack. But only by a nose. Codner is not going to give it up easily.
3 laps to go here for the TCM All-Star Showcase. And we saw earlier, Nick was able to use the outside lane, and he is not giving up. And look at Ryan Messer, the Godfather, starting to close in. 33 now shuts the door. Will Nick give him the favor back? He gives him a little bit of a shot to the shorts there, to quote the great Tim Terry. 2 laps to go. Oh, Suggs hits the wall. All the leaders have to check up there, and Ryan Messer may try and cruise along the outside. It's all getting intense here with the lap and a half left to go. Codner sticks his nose in. Oh, they all hit. He spins out the 33. They pile in turn 4. Caution out. Unbelievable. And the leader is the number 1, Ryan Messer.
Oh.
Your bet's down the toilet.
What a rush.
That one was coming for the last 2 laps.
Holy moly.
This is not over yet, boys.
It ain't over till the fat producer sings, and I ain't singing yet. Let's take a look at the Shed Left Shed Movers instant replay. Got to look at it from the blimp view, my favorite view, because, man, there was a lot going on there, lots of action here, and we're going to give it to you in real time. We're going to focus in on the 33 car and the 1 car. As the 1 car is the new leader. You see the 33 gets into the wall just a little bit, and the 54 and the 1, they check up, and there was a spin behind them. We didn't even see that. It looks like Corey Hall might have gotten around. We'll focus in here kind of 3 wide, and 54 and the 1 both hit the 33 at the same time, and Barkhouse involved, 4 involved, 54 spun around. Mike Rhino sneaks on by, the 80 sneaks by as well. There's Fugier, he sneaks by. Kevin King, he just gets spun around, he grabs a gear, points it in the right direction. But man, oh man, a little bit of race car
like
marmalade.
Suggs, gave him a little tap.
A little bit of a tap, a little bit of a tappy tap.
And that's how quickly things get ugly when the leaders get into it and the other guys are coming full tilt.
Let me show you something real quick here up here with the leaders. Ryan Messer, the Godfather, the number 1 car. He's the current leader. He's got 81 laps on his tires. Second place, 78, John Fitzpatrick. He's got 66 laps on his tires. But third place, Stephen Matthews, 39 laps on his tires. Oh, but it gets better. Fourth place, the 75, Mike Alexander, 29 laps on his tires. This is going to be a finish.
Well,
I got the best tire wear out of anybody in the field, though.
Come on back, Kyle. Go out there, buddy.
Yeah, get out there. If you get out there and run like 3 laps, well, you'll still be last. So.
Hey, if you jump in right now, Kyle, you'll finish 17th in the money.
I just tried, but as soon as it loaded up, it kicked me out again.
Kyle, did you just do the starting part to get your $10 and go home?
I couldn't even start.
Buy on your own McDouble tonight, bud.
I dropped in warm-up and it won't let me back in.
You're not doing the right. How many of these truck drivers in the truck series would show up with these crappy trucks and get the money? You can't even do it on iRacing.
Right?
Oh man, getting ready for a green-white checkered here to wrap up the TCM Tranquility Online All-Star Showcase. Man, strap in, because we've had a change of hand for the lead, 5 times now on the restarts, and now it's New Brunswick's Ryan Messer with Charlottetown's John Fitzpatrick on the outside, and Stephen Matthews right behind. Green flag back out, Mikey.
Yeah, this is going to be a finish, and I don't think we're done with the cautions yet, because you got everybody vying to the front. Ryan Messer does not want that caution to come out, as he's going to come around for White Silk. Jerry, could this go all the way for Ryan Messer?
And Messer's got a clean racetrack in front of him. All he's got to do is bring it home as the field heads down the back straightaway. At turn number 4, they're going to come down, and it's Messer who takes the checkered flag behind him. Stephen Matthews in the 56, John Fitzpatrick the 78. Kevin King will bring it home in 4th spot, and Mike Alexander a top 5 finish.
The Godfather, Ryan Messer, is the winner of the TCM Tranquility on All-Star Showcase. What a race. He was hanging around 5th before all the craziness happened. He was able to avoid the wreck at the front of the field, and now he's $100 richer. I think he's taking out his lovely girlfriend for a date tomorrow night. Get some din-din.
Din-din?
Din-din. They're going
all
for dinner.
About the din-din.
They're going to dinner before they go to Petty on Saturday.
From Ravishing Rick Rude. Hey, did you pick Ryan Messer to win this?
I did. Where's my money?
You get half the winnings now, don't you?
I'll have to. We'll chat with him. I don't know if that'll fly with his...
Well, we already split your money up.
I don't know if that'll fly with his family and his girlfriend, but hey, cool stuff. Ryan Messer, Stephen Matthews, John Fitzpatrick, Kevin King, Mike Alexander, Magic Mike getting the top 5, Keith McClellan, Jake Goodwin, and here's where the heartbreak kicks in. Bret Suggs, Matthew Barkhouse, and you can see there's Codner. He went from 1st to 12th. Heartbreak for him, but he dove it in turn 3 to try and get back, but hey, that was the price you got to pay for a move like that. You can see the rest of the field, Ricky Arbo finishing 20th, and we'll look at the back, and there's Kyle Young.
Hey, listen, Kyle finished better than any of us.
That's at least I still show up on the results page. That's a positive, right?
For sure. But We're going to take a quick break here, pay some bills, and get everybody lined up. We'll get some top 3 interviews. We'll talk to Tim Terry. We'll be right back after a couple of short commercial breaks.
Southwestern PA will add to its sports legacy on July 4th at Jennerstown Speedway. The Cars Tour brings America's biggest short track racers to the Laurel Highlands for a 200-lap, $20,000-to-win spectacle powered by Thomas Automotive Group. Stephen Nasse, Bubba Pollard, and the Kyle Busch Motorsports number 51 car are among the expected entries for Jennerstown's biggest race in decades, plus a massive fireworks display. Get your tickets now. Seats are limited, and this one could be a sellout. Get more info at carsracingtour.com.
Living with anxiety or depression can make everyday situations and interactions seem impossible, and getting the right help can be expensive and inconvenient. We're changing that with Tranquility. Our program follows the highly effective gold standard, cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps people change negative thoughts and unhelpful behaviors by teaching them skills to practice in real life. Using Tranquility is convenient. You can move at your own pace from your phone or computer, and you don't have to do it alone. Your one-on-one coach is there to help keep you motivated and supported all the way through. If you're ready to unlock the tools you need to approach the day with confidence, visit tranquility.app to sign up for a free trial.
Want to thank our great sponsors again, including Tranquility Online, app, as well as Pit Road TV, Tony Stevens sponsoring the heat races tonight. And the fireworks, well, they're in the air. They're pits, but we've got some interviews we got to crack out here. And actually, in the announcer booth, finishing third tonight is John Fitzpatrick from Prince Edward Island. John, you got a copy there, brother?
Good evening, fellas.
Good evening, sir. Well, that was a crazy race. You were in front for a bit. You led. You got some lap money. You fell back a little bit later on, but man, you get the podium finish. You get third tonight. How was the racing for the All-Star Showcase?
Oh, it was awesome racing tonight. It was probably my favorite race of the year. The racing was pretty good. Like, everybody was calm. I mean, it got at the start, it got pretty wild at the end there, but yeah, overall pretty good.
So did you kind of pull a different tire strategy at first? How come you stayed out? Did you just want to get a couple of bucks of the lap money?
Absolutely. Just as soon as I led the lap, said, there's $1.
There's my coffee and my donuts for tomorrow.
100%.
So solid finish. And, you saw what happened from your front when you saw the 54, the 33, and others take each other out. Were you figuring, man, I hope this keeps happening because I could land a winner tonight?
Absolutely. Coming down the backstretch with the 54 and the 33, I saw that they were getting pretty racy, so I just backed off and went to the top side, and turned out to be a good strategy. And then it got the one loose as well. Had we not had that caution, I maybe would have had a shot at racing the one on the last lap.
Yeah, you kind of came out of nowhere. You had some fast tires on, apparently, but solid top 3 finish. I know we chatted before, and you said you were kind of a former racer. Now with stuff opening up, I'm not sure at Prince Edward Island what the deal is there. Are you going to check out the New Brunswick races when the Atlantic bubble kicks open? Are you going to do any racing in 2020?
No plans in that front.
Are you going to go watch the
race? Absolutely. You try to get out to a couple races at least.
Right on, man. Any family sponsors you want to shout out?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the pit crew, Kevin Carr, Paul Trewin, Adam O'Donnell, Tyler McLean. I actually run a Kevin Carr modified scheme from Oysterbed Speedway tonight. A little throwback to his car, a little bit of a salute to him.
Wicked stuff there, John. Great finish, and what a way to cap off the TCM iRacing, right?
Absolutely, and thanks for the broadcast, guys. Thanks for Tim to putting this on. Definitely appreciate it. Gave us something to do while all the COVID's going on, and hopefully look forward to some more racing in the future.
Thumbs up. Congrats, John. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Have a good evening, guys.
Thanks. That's John Fitzpatrick in the 78 from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. He won. In fact, we've got different provinces represented in the top 3. And now let's chat with our race winner. New nickname a couple nights ago, the Godfather Ryan Messer has come out on top after a crazy ending. Ryan, do you have a copy?
Yep, you got me.
Were the family going crazy? We got you. Was the family going crazy tonight, getting the big win, the final TCM All-Star race here?
Yeah, I had my mom and my girlfriend behind me, and they were taking deep breaths and everything. I had to tell them to be quiet there at one point. I don't think my cars beat that fast in a real race car. So it's pretty good. I made a few mistakes throughout the race, but managed to still stay within range, I guess, and everything just went in my favor, I guess, towards the end. I got loose coming out of 4 once, or cleared myself. I didn't really have the room I thought I did, and I stacked a couple cars up, which I apologize for that. But no, just managed to stay somewhat out of trouble and went really well.
How did you avoid that big wreck? Did you see that coming? Did you sense it, or was it just pure lady luck?
You'll have to tell me when you're talking about. That was kind of a part of it. I thought was going to be an end of my night. Just cars bouncing back and forth off of me, but never really got a whole lot of damage throughout the race. So cars still drove good from start to finish. It was a bit of a looser setup as you went on, but no, just seemed to try and save the tires as much as I could and make it last till the end.
You're going to win $100 tonight, some lap money as well. Cool thing is you can apply that to the real race car. Petty is opening up this weekend, and a big pro stock race is coming up on the 4th. I'm assuming you're part of that. You're going to be racing soon?
Actually just decided in the last couple of days that we're going to try and make the show down there for the 150. We're going to be driving a car for Andy Fox, and just got to thank him for the opportunity for that, and all my sponsors that get us to the racetrack every week.
So how do you feel going into the first pro stock race of the year? It's going to be a mishmash with some 660 guys and pro stock guys. Do you get some nerves? And we've been doing the iRacing for quite a bit. Have you gotten the car for testing and all, or is it just going to be a whole new world right away?
I haven't drove the car in a few years because it was the car I drove my first year of pro stock a few years ago. So it's going to be a little bit just to get used to it. But I've only raced at Petty a couple times. So it'll be still a lot of learning going down there, and I think the car counts are going to be really healthy. Everybody itching to get back out, but hope it should be a fun weekend.
Awesome stuff. We can't wait to see you on the real track, and we loved watching you on the virtual track tonight. Congratulations, Ryan, winning some money tonight racing.
Thank you, and just got to thank Tim Terry too for putting these races on, and you guys in the booth doing a great job.
Thanks. We gave you the nickname Godfather. Hope you don't mind.
Oh, that's all right.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. We'll see you at the track soon, okay?
See ya.
That's Ryan Messer, the winner tonight of the TCM Tranquility Online All-Star Showcase. Hey, Jerry Paxton, our second place finishers in here. Stephen Matthews, he came from nowhere and got a podium finish.
Steve, you got a copy?
I got you, Jerry.
All right, man. That was the show. I mean, you were in it, you were out of it, you were back in it. That was a scrap for the whole thing.
Yeah, that was another rough and tumble race. Another survival of the fittest, and you just got to try to keep the fenders off it, keep it off the wall, and be there for the end. Which lucky enough, we did.
Now, I know this is a quick, tight little racetrack at this Five Flags Speedway, so it's a little bit of a challenge, especially when you've got the quality and the caliber of drivers we had out there tonight.
Yeah, this is a pretty tricky track. I found the lower groove was good, through most of the night, and then it started stepping up a little bit and started getting some grip in the middle of the track. But this place will wear you out. This is a tough one.
It'll wear you out. It'll wear the car out too, by the look of it.
Yeah, they had no joke. Yep.
Yeah. You had a couple of what should we call them, incidents, but nothing major. You didn't have to do any resets tonight.
No. We got a couple crinkles in it, but just checkups, stuff in front of us, and I think I pancaked the wall a couple times, but all in all, the wheels were straight, and we just survived, and just grind it to the end.
Now, I know the one thing I do watch with this racetrack was long green flag runs you guys had. How bad was that on tires?
Yeah, that was tough. It was tough to hold onto the car. The car got really, really loose, and you really had to float the car in there and just be real easy on the gas coming out because it definitely wants to step away from you.
All right, back to real car racing. What's up for the rest of 2020 now that, with fingers crossed and we're looking to the best of best that their tracks may open shortly.
Yeah, well, I'm working on my. I got a 4-cylinder car. I'm working on that right now, trying to get that ready to go, and maybe get to test it out, and then maybe we'll see us in a Sportsman a couple times this year.
And that'll be at Scotia, correct?
Yeah, more than likely Scotia. Yeah, home track.
Oh, how I long to get back there. And things here in Ontario, even if I come, they won't. Well, I think right now if I come to Nova Scotia, it's not a matter of they won't let me in, they won't let me leave.
Yeah, we'll probably be racing probably every week.
Yeah, they're going to make me a permanent guest, so which wouldn't be all bad, by the way. Hey, congrats tonight. Really good race. Some great strategy played out in your favor. Well done.
A lot, Jerry, and I just want to congratulate Ryan and John, and thank all you guys for what you do, and all the sponsors that come on board and did this whole deal for for this pandemic, 3-4 months, whatever we did, and now it's time to do the real deal.
We're all hoping for that one.
10-4 on that.
Steve, I got a quick question. Is it your own Sportsman or is it someone else's Sportsman you're going to be racing?
Be more than likely Josh Collins' Sportsman car.
That's got to be pretty cool. I mean, I know you did some kind of testing. Was it a Sportsman or a Pro Stock before at Scotia?
A little both.
So that's got to be pretty special getting in the Sportsman now and moving up a little bit at your home track.
Yeah, it is. And, I can't thank him for the opportunity enough. I'd never be able to, fund that deal on my own. So, I helped him out with the crewing and spotting, and he liked that, and he gave me an opportunity, and, the rest is history. And hopefully we'll get to shake the cobwebs off the Pro Stock here soon, too, and get it ready for him.
Would there be a chance you go with the Sportsman at Riverside maybe, or just stick to Scotia for this?
Hard to say, Dylan. I ran down there once before. He let me run it, and we had pretty good success there with it. So you never know. You just go with the punches, right?
Yeah, and you got some fuel. You won some fuel money tonight, so you could put it towards that.
Yeah, might be able to buy half a tire or something, right?
Maybe. Hey, Steve, thanks for racing tonight, and we can't wait to see you on the real track soon.
Thanks a lot, Dylan, and thanks again, guys.
Not a problem. Steven Matthews finishing second after a wild and wacky TCM All-Star Showcase, and the main man putting this stuff on, Tim Terry. Could you ask for a better way to end it with just some calamity by the end?
Well, we could have. Had a little bit of fat finger syndrome tonight. We had a couple of cautions that were a little quick at the end, but we do have our fourth place finisher here tonight, and I know, Paul, we're over time. I think there's Buffalo Racing or something on Vidane TV coming up, but Dylan, why don't you talk to our fourth place finisher, Kevin King?
Sure, Kevin, you got a copy there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How'd you find racing all the Atlantic Canadians again tonight? You finished fourth. You were up in front for a little bit. Hard luck, though, with some contact with about 40, 50 laps to go. That sent you to the back, though.
Yeah, it was I definitely had, I got caught up in that first wreck, which put me back. I had a fixed damage, and so I went a lap down and got spun out there in the middle of the race, so I guess early middle of the race, and went back again. And then put another lap down, and then eventually I got back up there. And once I got back up there, I found the line that I should have been running. I don't run these things very much, but I finally found the line when I was in fifth or so, and I felt good. And then I got to second and got dumped. So to be able to finish fourth after that, 30 incidents and being torn up, I will take it.
Yeah, that was just some crazy racing by the end. How was it racing with all these drivers? We know that you do the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series. Is it a different experience doing that compared to short track racing with some Atlantic Canadians here tonight?
I mean, short track racing is always tough, right? Everyone's is going for the same spot, so it doesn't matter who's racing it. It's always really hard. But there's some really fast guys that obviously I don't know very well that were in this race, and they were very clean. And there's some guys that were a little out there in terms of how they race with each other. But that a lot of it is just short track stuff. But for the most part, I enjoyed it. Everyone says Canadians are really nice, and it's amazing that every wreck that was out there is kind of like, that's my fault. No big deal. It's my fault, type of thing, which is not normal, what you get in the open environment of what I normally deal with. So it was cool overall. Like, everyone's super nice. There's a few guys obviously I had issues with just getting into me and whatnot, but most of that again is short track stuff. So I enjoyed it just like I enjoyed the last time. It was really fun.
Did you hear "sorry" a lot? That's the one of the Canadianisms, is saying "sorry, I got into ya."
Yeah, there's the sorry and all that fun stuff. The netcode, which really gets to me. I heard a few of that, but I think there was one. I think some guy spun. He's like, that's totally on me. Give it to me. And you you normally never hear that. No one ever wants to take blame. It's always something else that caused it. It's never someone's their own fault. So hearing that is very cool, but definitely very different. But I enjoyed it. I mean, there's some really fast guys out there that maybe most people don't know about because they're doing leagues like this, or they just run cars that aren't normally showcased, much like the A class car, the Cup car, and things of that nature. But there's a lot of good guys out there. They obviously know what they're doing. They were in the event because they won races and all that fun stuff. So it'll be cool to see if they can go to different style racetracks and different series to see how they do with that stuff. But I mean, I had fun, even though I was really close to quitting. The second time I was like, okay, 2 laps down, this is not going to be good. But I hung in there and ended up 4th. So good job staying in there, I guess.
Okay, yeah, and you got some this is Paul Strickland down in the production trailer. Man, it's been like 10 years since you and I have been in the same voice chat server, so it's kind of cool to see you run this Tim's Corner event here. Now, we know you won the first TCM event way back in March, but we didn't see it too much throughout the season. I really want to let the viewers know you're no rookie or anything. Dude, you've been around forever. Can you give us a little bit of background, your sim racing experience, maybe some of the, what KK29 does behind the scenes?
Yeah, I've been around racing or sim racing since the beginning, right? NASCAR 1 when I was like 14 or so. Been around iRacing since its first inception as it transitioned from NASCAR Racing 2003, which was where I saw a lot of success. But, I've been in the upper ranks of DWC, as they called it before, which is now Coke Series. Racing in those series, racing against really good people. Had a couple wins in that series. So I've seen success. I don't do a lot of short track racing. I just tend to just keep with the stuff that I know, which is more of the A car, the B car, and the truck. But I enjoy these things. Tim asked me to do the last one, and I was like, I don't know, man. I don't really feel confident with these things because I know they're a handle to drive sometimes. Sometimes you feel like you're going fast and you're not. But I was able to jump in the last one and win, so I was like, okay, I'll do this one too. Give myself a shot. But these days I'm just doing a lot of we're doing Road to Pro. I actually won finally a race Road to Pro on Tuesday, so that was cool. So I'm getting closer to getting to the Pro Series back again after I decided to take a break. And I stream on Twitch. Tim always wants me to stream my races during the day when I can, so you'll catch me on Twitch under K King Style. So if you ever want to see kind of what I do with my normal pickup racing and whatnot, that's where you'll find me. So it's I'm still around, still doing stuff.
Awesome. And great race here tonight, man. You've been back and forth, and to come back 4th is pretty damn cool. Man, that car looks like a modified after the couple of wrecks and the walls you got into, but came home 4th, so good solid top 5 finish, and man, coming home with a couple of bucks for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate everything you guys do. This is awesome. Keep doing what you're doing, guys.
Absolutely. And Tim, was that everybody?
I think that's everybody. Great race. Congratulations to Ryan Messer. Great kid. Looking forward to seeing him at the Brycon Construction Bubble Buster 150, I think is what we're calling it at Petty Raceway in a couple of weeks. Good race by all the drivers. We have a couple of black flags and a couple of incidents we got to take care of. Just a reminder for all those drivers to email me or Facebook me their either their PayPal or their e-transfer. We get all the payments out on Monday once everything is all sorted through. Thank you to Jerry, Mike, and Dylan for being a part of this deal. Kyle Young's been hanging out here. He's done some announcing with us. Dave Memfrey, he's been on here a few times as well. Joe Chisholm. It's been a fun ride. I already had emails asking me if we're going to do this again. We're going to take the summer off at least. Kick back, do some racing. Paul, I know you're going to do some racing here in the next couple of weeks as well. Stafford opens tomorrow, so that's going to be fun. We'll see what happens during the winter. See if another one of these pandemics roll around. But Thank you to all the drivers. I think we had over 225 or 230 drivers that came through I think 40 races or something. So that's a pretty stout little number. Pretty proud of that. Thank you to Tranquility, all the sponsors that we had throughout the night for this event. I think the purse ends up being close to 800 or over 800 bucks by the end of it. Legends Nation topped up 6th through 10th tonight at the end of the day. So, and Ryan Messer won the Pit Row TV bonus for the top heat winner. So there's that too. We got all kinds of prizes and all kinds of money to sort out, Paul. So I think the residency at Five Flags is over. We can actually, instead of dusting it off, we can put it in the truck and bring it back to Connecticut and call it a day, right?
Yes, sir. We're going to put it in the truck. We're going to park it in Connecticut for a couple of weeks because we're actually going to take a week or two off here because, man, we hit the ground running the first weekend of March, and holy crap, we have not stopped. So, going to be looking forward to a little bit of downtime here. As you made mention, Stafford Speedway, first race tomorrow night. I'm so excited to be out there with the Renner Race Car boys. Man, if you told me 10 years ago that I myself would have two of my very own brands sponsoring street stock cars in an actual race car event, I'd have called you every name in the book. But it's going to be cool to hook up with the number 22 Angry Tree Guys Street Stock and the number 26 Vidane TV Street Stock. So very excited about that, and couldn't have happened without Tim's Corner Motorsports and all the other leagues that we've really kind of dealt with over the past 3-4 months. But man, we're going to take the downtime. We're going to kind of update the graphics just a little bit. We're going to update some hardware on my end, and Tim's Corner Motorsports, we may be done for the summer because, like you said, the real stuff's opening up here. We're not going to be doing anything on Vidane TV as far as iRacing is concerned on Fridays, but you can bet I'll be doing some live videos from the track for sure. So be sure to check out our Facebook page tomorrow. And apparently StaffordSpeedway.tv is a thing now. So if you wanted to take a look at the Vidane TV Street Stock, head on over to StaffordSpeedway.tv. It's $20. You can actually get the Friday night racing in your living room, which is pretty damn cool. And they actually give a 25% cut of all of the streaming income to the drivers. So that's also really neat. And, technically I'm kind of a driver because I got a couple races this season in the Renner Race Car 22 car. So, the more pay-per-views you get, the more pulled pork sandwiches I can get. So definitely check that out. But got a couple of things in the work here for Vidane TV. We are going to do a short track invitational. Basically all the leagues that we've worked with over the past 3-4 months. We're going to invite all of the drivers in there. Tim, you and I have gone back and forth about doing a super speedway thing, so that's going to be a thing as well. And we're also going to try and work out some kind of IROC style team event, so that's going to be kind of neat. So be sure to pay attention to the Vidane TV Facebook page. Thank you to everybody that's out there watching Vidane TV, Tim's Corner Motorsports, over on the YouTube page, over on Twitch. And if you've got Twitch, shoot us a follow real quick, twitch.tv/Vidane Racing TV. But that's going to do it here for tonight. Thanks to everybody that's helped support Tim's Corner Motorsports. You can see all the lap sponsors here tonight on your screen. Just too many to name in one breath. Lots of support from drivers and companies and everybody pretty much all around Canada and the Northeast. So pretty cool deal here that we've kind of worked out. And that's going to do it here for Vidane TV. We're going to catch you guys on the flip side. And when we do, we're going to be doing it live. Thanks for coming out. Have a great night.
Living with anxiety or depression can make everyday situations and interactions seem impossible. And getting the right help can be expensive and inconvenient. We're changing that with Tranquility. Our program follows the highly effective gold standard, cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps people change negative thoughts and unhelpful behaviors by teaching them skills to practice in real life. Using Tranquility is convenient. You can move at your own pace from your phone or computer, and you don't have to do it alone. Your one-on-one coach is there to help keep you motivated and supported all the way through. If you're ready to unlock the tools you need to approach the day with confidence, visit tranquility.app to sign up